take it away. Good luck and have fun.
Hello everyone on the internet in this lovely morning hour. I mean, it's pretty fitting because it's a game about ghosts, right? So for the next about 3.5 hours, I will be your runner, and I'm not alone. I have a lovely commentator with me as well. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm the Wicked Viking. I also stream this game and speedrun it. Not nearly to the level that Ash does, but I try my best. Try to find new routes with a couple other runners and be the first one to kind of implement them. So a lot of fun.
And speaking of new routes and stuff, since so much new techniques and things have been found since I did my last, I want to say, proper run of this game, we are setting ourselves up here that this could actually be a world record run if I don't mess up too many things. So, get a bit hyped there in the chat at this morning hour. I mean, it's like about 4 a.m. in the morning here, so, I could need some energy here. But anyway, we have about 3.5 hours to talk during the run, about the run, so why don't we go ahead and get this show on the road in 3, 2, 1, go! So, for those of you guys who don't know, we are running the any percent New Game Plus category, and there are basically 3 main advantages that we have in New Game Plus over a New Game save file. The first of all being, we completely skip the prologue of the game, which is already a 40 to 42 minute time save, which is pretty nice because, as you can imagine, the prologue is pretty much just story stuff happening and tutorials and whatnot, and being able to skip that is, really nice in a speedrun setting. The second advantage is that we are actually able to skip all the cutscenes. So if you are playing on a fresh save file, you can't skip any of the cutscenes in the game. You have to watch them every time you play. And that is another about 2-hour time save over the course of the whole game. So by these two factors combined, we are already saving about 2.5 hours, give or take. And then of course the third main advantage is, because we are playing New Game Plus, of course we take over all of our armors, all of our upgrades, our techniques and whatnot from our previous save file, which once again makes us able to go fast. And we do want to go fast, don't we? Because if you are doing a speedrun on a fresh save file, this run takes roughly about 7 hours, so being able to do it in 3.5 is pretty nice.
You found me.
Yeah, you're talking about all the advantages of New Game Plus. You don't talk about the disadvantage. So one of the sad things is you don't really know the story. What's going on? Why are we here? Why are we fighting things? So while he's doing the whole Yuna thing and kind of riding up to this next action point, we'll just talk about the story. So this is the Mongol invasion of Tsushima, an actual event that took place in, I believe it was the 1000s? I believe it was, or the 1100s. It's an actual event that took place. Was there a Jin Sakai? We don't know, but unlikely. But this is the actual invasion of Tsushima, and during the invasion, 80 samurai met the Mongols on a beach. That's fact. That's awesome, and they incorporated that into this game. You are one of very, very few surviving samurai. The other surviving samurai is your uncle, who happens to be the lord of the land, Lord Shimura. During the entire first portion of the game, the prologue, your goal, your mission is to rescue Lord Shimura from Castle Canada. I call it Canada. I know that's not correct, but it's Canada.
No, it's Canada. It's not Castle Canada. We are not in America. We are Japan.
Listen, it's north of where you start at. It's Canada. That's all I know. I'm American. That's what we do. So you build up this whole relationship with Yuna, who he's riding along with here, and you find out she's a thief, and her idea is to kind of sneak in. And you say, "No, I'm a samurai. We're gonna meet them with honor, face to face." And that doesn't go too well for you. You fight the Khan, and you get chucked off of a bridge. Your survival is... I don't know, how do you think he survived that, other than plot armor?
Sheer force of will. I mean, he gets
Cheerful.
basically thrown off a bridge that is a good, I don't know, 20 to 30 meters up in the air above water. So once he lands on that water surface, it hits pretty hard, you know.
Maybe it was high tide. He got lucky. Maybe.
Pretty high
So-
tide, my dude.
Indeed. So you
It's better than getting
you find out that being super honorable and trying to fight the Khan face to face and his whole army is not going to be good. So the idea of this game, the whole the whole storyline is Yuna is basically telling you to survive, you have to adapt, and she is teaching you and telling you ways of how to be a sneaky little ninja assassin.
Like we just did.
So, yes, yeah, not honorable, not samurai, but it's war. So you do what you got to survive, right?
A quick point
Hey.
about what we are doing here. We are now in a flashback because we assassinated the first guy, and Jin has a little flashback about his uncle telling him about honor. And we are supposed to track a bear here, and normally the game supposedly takes you this path along an S shape, kind of. But since we are speedrunners, we can just cut straight across, which is of course, you know, faster than going along this whole S shape. And Lord Shimura clearly demonstrating the awesome AI pathing in some points of the game, which you have to take really good care about, because NPCs just walking around willy-nilly can cost you quite a bit of time here and there.
Yeah, I find that I've got to go super wide left or kind of stagger my routing to where Shimura's on my left in order to try to keep him from going to that other side of the bear. But as you saw, he got attacked. There was an assassin trying to take him out, and that's where you get that his honorable code. Always look him in the eye. Never strike from the shadows. And here we get introduced to probably one of the most ancient yet unknown samurai arts, the roly-poly samurai.
All the tumbleweed samurai, depending on
There
who
you
you
go.
ask.
I did that one for you. I did that for you.
And I did the other for you, dude.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, tumbleweed samurai, or roly-poly samurai, however you would like to call it, that is the art of ninja rolling. If you are in a crouch position, in stealth position, and you start a roll, the enemy won't see you. So you have to be just a tumbleweed in the wind. So you're going to see that quite a bit during stealthy sections where you can't just go in the front. You're going to just go right in the front. It's quite fantastic.
Yeah, it basically
So
let us
this-
skip all the stealth sections in the game whatsoever. Just one little addition there. Not only do you have to be crouching and rolling, you also have to start your first roll while you still haven't been detected by any enemy. As soon as you have been detected and these little white bars start filling up, telling you that the enemy is going to detect you, it doesn't work anymore. You have to be completely undetected, because as far as we understand it, is that the roll actually preserves your detection meter in a way. So as long as you are, well, undetected and just keep on rolling, no enemy in this game will ever see you. Which is pretty fantastic.
The finest thing for speedrunning. You can implement it in your casual as well, but speedrunning makes it good. So the mission that we just completed was Yuna had saved our lives on the beach. She nursed us back to health, and she didn't do it for nothing. She wants us to help save her brother Taka. So Jin he's offering to save her brother Taka because we need the assistance. They thought that he was in this camp, so they raided the camp and found a straw hat Ronin who said that he was most likely moved to Azamo Bay. So that's going to be later down the road. We're going to go rescue him. But for now, we're going to recruit the 3 members that we need to be able to be full force to fight our way into the castle, starting with Sensei Ishikawa.
Besides us? I don't know yet.
Yeah, because basically the whole of Act 1 is you trying to rescue your uncle from the Mongols. And as we learned in the prologue and as Wicked already explained, you know, we just can't take on a whole castle full of Mongols by ourselves. We need some allies. And that is basically everything that we have to do in Act 1 is recruit other people to help us. And as you can see, I messed up the rolling here. I started it when the enemies had already seen me, as indicated by the white, well, bars that try to fill up. Normally you can just roll up to this group of enemies and start assassinating like half of them.
See, I don't look at it as a mistake. You are demonstrating the wrong way to do it. And keeping, yeah, so that way you can show the good and the bad. One thing, if you notice, that battle was super fast, and he didn't even kill everybody. A lot of the people ran away. The reason for that is because we have a build that we came up with that Ash kind of started the idea, and then between him and I, we kind of went back and forth with different charms. And we have created a equipment loadout with the charms, as well as the ghost armor that has such high terror, you can pretty much assume you're going to terrorize at least half of the bad guys. So when you kill somebody, somebody else is going to run away, which clearly that makes the encounters significantly faster.
So basically what it is there is a kind of status effect in the game called Terrify. And what Terrify does is it makes an enemy drop their weapons and basically flee the battlefield. And that enemy counts as defeated, so you don't have to take care of him anymore. And the Ghost Armor has a perk that makes it so that whenever you kill an enemy, another enemy has a 40% chance of getting terrified. And then, as Wiki just said, we just load out this armor with more charms that increases this base percentage up until about 90%. So whenever I kill an enemy, I have about a 90% chance that another enemy just straight up leaves the fight.
Just nopes out.
Which makes the battles go, you know, at least double as quick.
On top of that, there's also, you're going to see once we get to that point and start getting some equipment, black powder bombs and death by fire also causes an increase in the terror, and those will clear out huge groups super fast. You'll notice that I'll let Ash call it the way that he wants to later when he starts getting the bombs, but he's got a special name for the type of combat that we do.
I do like it. But yeah, we basically have other charms equipped that makes it so once we set an enemy on fire, he has a chance to terrify even more enemies. So this will be a pretty, you know, fire-tastic run, in a way, if you want to put it that way.
What can we use to our advantage?
So we are approaching Fort Nakayama. This, again, Sensei Ishikawa, a great samurai archer that we want to incorporate into our ranks to help us save our uncle. And he is following, I guess you could say, one of his students, Tomoe. And Tomoe has been, quote-unquote, captured by the Mongols. You think that she may have been taken here to Fort Nakayama. So Sensei Ishikawa says, scout the battlefield, figure out what you can use to your advantage, and then we attack. Which I always find quite amusing, that you get so much grief in this game for using shadow tactics and assassination moves and things like that. But in this scene here, you literally blow up unsuspecting enemies with explosive barrels and catch them on fire and shoot bees. So it's a bit weird.
I didn't get a single explosive arrow, so I think I actually have to go do the shopping after this.
Oh, goodness. So if you're lucky, you can get explosive arrows as well as flaming arrows during this pickup. Your chances of grabbing those on a lethal are quite a bit less, but if you can get those arrows, you eliminate a shopping trip, which comes up right after this, so it's much quicker. There is, of course, an ammo rack inside the fort that is on my route to get through. I don't know if Ash uses that route or not, but there is an ammo rack in there for at least one more try. But look at all these people running away with that fire. It's fantastic. Fantastic. So once you clear out the outside, then you got to go inside and clear them out. The commander and his goons come running out, so you just shoot a couple explosive barrels. All the fire causes a lot of terror. Killing the boss causes terror.
Who am I missing?
It's did you? Yeah, that guy. So once you clear the area out, this part we use a quit out and reload checkpoint. And in doing so, it takes Sensei Ishikawa from being way back up at the visual area to now he's inside the fort. Saves quite a bit of time because he runs. We've tried to incorporate that in a couple areas. It doesn't work.
But you could already see just by that fight alone how much difference a, well, good RNG roll can make, right? Because, you know, if this terror effect that we explained earlier kicks in, I wouldn't have had to go out of my way to kill this one last archer that was just hiding out somewhere else. Which of course cost me a little bit of time already, because he just didn't really actually had to look for him. And of course, the more enemies just flee and leave the battlefield, the less cleanup I have to do at the end of the fight, and the faster I can go. So you can already say that there's a lot of RNG involved in this run.
Absolutely. There are about 4 or 5 fights. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's not super many. But there are about 4 or 5 fights that if you get one enemy that is not playing nicely with you, it can kill your time quite a bit. Yeah. But this was Fort Nakayama. You come up and you see some tightly clustered Japanese arrows. We found Tomoe's kimono, and we found some archery terms written from Mongolian to Chinese. So basically, you're drawing a conclusion that Tomoe may not be so good anymore.
Also, because you mentioned it earlier, maybe we should talk about the different difficulty settings of the game. So the game has 4 difficulty settings: easy, normal, hard, and lethal. And we are playing on lethal. And what that does is basically when you pick up items, you basically get less. Like
What are you hiding?
Wicked earlier said, when I picked up all these arrows, there is a very high chance if you're playing on a lower difficulty setting that you get, well, the quote-unquote better arrows. You know, you get fire arrows instead of normal arrows, and you get explosive arrows instead of heavy arrows. And the higher the difficulty you're playing on, the less of those special arrows you get. And of course, the enemies are going to be, well, more aware on the higher difficulty settings, because on easy you can basically brush by some enemies without them noticing. On lethal, they are very aware of your presence. And of course, the combat is way harder on lethal. Like on lethal, every hit you take is basically a one hit. I mean, you can survive an odd hit here and there, but most of the time you get hit, you die.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more intense. I've done a few lethal runs that have not made it past Act 1, just because I don't play on this difficulty. But that's all Ash plays, so he slaughters on it. He's really good. So now we've recruited Sensei Ishikawa. The idea behind this game, as we mentioned, is you recruit people to help you rescue your uncle. And just like a lot of these other open world games, you can do a lot of different missions. You can go elsewhere and come back and do, you know, more Sensei missions. Sensei Ishikawa's side missions are trying to figure out what happened to Tomoe and recruiting her. When you get Yuna, there's missions to help her. There's missions to help every NPC in here. You don't have to do any of those missions for the sake of the story, but they are very useful in casual playthrough because of the rewards you get, the renown, and stuff like that. That's another thing that has a huge advantage. Not only do you have your gear, but you also have your techniques. That was something else that we didn't talk about. All your techniques carry over from the original playthrough. If you were playing a new game of this, you have to kill leaders, observe leaders. You have to do all this different stuff so you get more renown, so you become stronger, better, faster. Like, you know, the $6 Million Man. Fortunately, we're already there.
Techniques are basically your skills, like you attack faster in certain stances, you get dodges that let you instantly attack the enemy that, you know, you dodge his attack. You are able to parry arrows by just blocking and stuff like that. And we have all of those right from the get-go because we are playing a New Game Plus. Also,
so now we are on our...
just because I did this shopping now, I had to do the shopping trip that I just did because I didn't pick up a single explosive arrows at the start of our attack on Fort Nakayama. If I had at least gotten one, I could have saved that whole shopping trip, but since I had to do it anyway, I took the chance to also pick up some black powder bombs and more explosive arrows. And this is where the run is starting to come together here, because as we explained earlier, setting people ablaze basically gives us a chance to terrify a lot of them, and since I have a lot of explosives now, I can now finally go ahead and channel my inner Michael Bay and raise literal hell on the island of Tsushima.
And that's another thing with our techniques upgraded. The black powder bombs and also a sticky bomb, which doesn't get used too much, but it can be used. They catch the surrounding enemies on fire. So not only do you have one enemy on fire that might scare another enemy, you also have his buddy on fire that might scare another enemy. So big explosives. You're going to see a fight later on that believe it or not, two properly placed black powder bombs is all it takes to kill 20 men.
Yep.
It is an insane fight.
It's fun to look at. Lots of fire. So basically, guys, you know, get out your marshmallows because we'll be roasting some people here.
So
If anyone survived,
we're now at Clan Adachi. Lord Adachi was killed on the beach. He gets the most dramatic death of everybody. He does the honorable, I am samurai, I challenge your finest warrior, and the Khan literally walks up to him with a pitcher of, a goblet, thank you. A goblet of Erig, splashes it on him, and then lights him on fire with a torch. Quite fantastic of a death, I would say. So the only ones left are the women of Clan Adachi because the men have all gone off and fought and died. You get to the estate and you find that there's been some things happening.
Mm-hmm.
So during your investigation, you come across the dead horse. Lady Adachi says, "Hi," and she talks to you and tells you exactly what happened. The night that the Mongols invaded, somebody came to her village, her little area, her estate, and killed everybody. And she's the only one left. We're going to go to their gravesite, pay our respects. So once we get there, everybody please F's in chat for Clan Adachi.
You know.
R2s, yeah. I'm about probably a 10-second delay on you, so I'm trying to talk about ahead of time stuff. So
Gotcha.
you might get that beforehand, so I apologize. But yes, F's in chat. Michael Ash Bay. Potentially, yes. Yes.
Maybe.
I mean, we do turn the entire bay to ash, so I don't see why that couldn't be a problem. So, after paying our respects, we ride to the Golden Temple. The idea at the Golden Temple is we have to talk to this monk, Sogen. And then Sogen has a very interesting mission where we have to follow him.
Quote unquote, follow.
Quote unquote. We follow him very well.
I mean, you know, we are very sneaky.
Very, very sneaky. So as we're riding up there, basically, Lady Masako is saying that the killers bring shame to me. I must find them and kill them. And you're like, yeah, sure, great, no problem. But I need your help. And let's do that. So that's Lady Masako's story. When you get done with the first mission, you start doing all the side missions for Lady Masako. The idea for her story is who killed her family and why. And it's a very interesting story. All of the stories are very interesting and very intense, but this is definitely one of the more intense. Yes, absolutely.
I need to find the armorer.
So that was Soken that we just talked to. And in just a moment,
Lady Masako said
we will find out that he is one of the conspirators who actually sicked the assassins on Clan Adachi. First, you have to tell Lady Masako that we actually talked to him.
So one of the things that happens and takes place here is you actually get armor from her clan. You get armor that should have gone to her son, but her son died. You could see Ash wear it for just a little bit, but unfortunately it's not scary enough, so we have to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's basically the first armor that you get, the first proper armor that you get in the game. However, it is solely defense orientated, like it increases your health, it increases your defense stats and stuff like that. And that just doesn't make you go fast. And we are speedrunners, so we want to go fast, you know. We need something more offensive orientated, so we're not gonna wear the samurai armor. If it looks kinda cool.
There's Sogen, leaving in a hurry.
Let's follow the wolf.
And yeah, this is the infamous part where we are now supposed to trail Sogen to his den, where the other assassins are. But since he always takes the same route to his destination, and we are speedrunners, so we know where he goes, We are not exactly doing that. But as you could already see, whenever I'm out of range of him, or whenever I cannot see him anymore, there's this timer counting down. And if I don't get back to a spot where I can see him or where I am near him, I will actually get a game over and have to reload the last checkpoint. And of course I don't want to do that because it loses you a bunch of time. So we have to stay in around a certain vicinity of him. So let's just wait for him to go to this crossroads, so he will quickly turn around and see if he is being followed, as he exclaims himself.
Hide.
And once he moves, things will get a little bit more interesting. Because we are actually in front of him. Like, he will come down this path here, where we already are running down. We will just go around this bend. Gotta wait for him to catch up just a little bit here. And Rio wants for him to go to this rock there, basically. Just about there, that is good enough. And then we will just hightail it to the next quest marker. And as long as I make it there within the time limit, the quest will actually progress as normal. So this is cutting it a little bit tight here.
And as you saw, he was setting up his... That was good. He was setting up his tools for the upcoming part, because when you got dead time, that's what you do. You set your tools up for the next part. This is actually probably my favorite part, because you're supposed to hear Sogen talking to these ruffians, but since Sogen's so far away, you just hear one side of the conversation. It's quite entertaining.
You know, Sogen still has his line, so it's basically talking with them telepathically.
And he yells at them to keep his voice down.
Press the button instead of holding it down. Oh well.
Whoops. So this is in our New Game Plus playthrough. This is the first time that you do a standoff. A standoff, you're supposed to hold the triangle down until just the right moment, and you will basically get the first strike on the enemy. And it's pretty quick, pretty fast, but that was a nice cleanup. Good recovery. You didn't take a second shot, so I mean, that's definitely good.
Yeah, I mean, I pressed the button, but I wasn't sure if the standoff had started yet, but it did, but I let go, so... A little bit of a fumbling there.
Symbol. Masako might know them.
But we got through it.
But you just missed there. Sogen is no longer amongst the living. He was standing there in front of a very angry, widowed, and her entire family massacred, and was talking about how change needs to happen, and those that stand in the way of change must be removed. And she was all very mad because, you know, they were children, and she slaughters him, just destroys him. That cutscene is pretty brutal. And Ash came up with a nice nickname for her.
Yeah, I mean, normally she is called Lady Masako, but since this is an occurrence that just keeps on happening during her quest line, I started to call her Lady Massacre. Because, you know, that's what she does. She just massacres people in cold blood, mercilessly.
Yeah, she is brutal. But that's what's really good about the storytelling in this game is you can see the emotion, and you can tell the just pure emotional rage when she's confronted by her killers, and they didn't gloss over it. And another thing that you don't get to see, unfortunately, in the speed run, because we skip all the cutscenes, they did really, really good on the facial animations in this game, and every emotion is so well played out. It's quite fantastic. So this is one of our longer rides. We have to go all the way down to meet with Yuna outside of Ozamo Bay, where she is conspiring with Kenji to get inside so that way she can rescue her brother Taka. There's also a mission down here to recruit the Straw Hat Ronin that we could do right now if we wanted to, but with routing, we learned that the ending of this quest puts you pretty close to where you need to be for the or you just teleport to a quick load kind of area, and then you're right next to where you need to be for the next mission. Whereas the mission for this one puts you so far away that you'd have to ride further. So this just makes more sense to do these in this order.
Exactly.
We're not.
In the first act and the second act as well, you are basically pretty free to tackle the main quest in more or less any way you'd like. However, as we could just explain, the endpoints of certain main quests just puts you very conveniently near the start of the next one. So if you just go ahead and do them in a certain order, you definitely lose time instead of having to run around the map all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. The missions with Ryuzo put you right next to Komatsu Forge, whereas if you did on the other way around, you'd have to ride halfway across the grasslands again.
Exactly.
It's quite nice. It took a little bit of routing to get this done, and we both actually have different rides that we take to get to here, but we both make sure that we hit a fast travel trigger because after we finish this mission, we fast travel to this, it's a sword strike area, and then we just quick ride over to the next mission. It's super helpful. So coming up is Azamo Bay. It is the only auto-scroller in Act 1, and one of the very few auto-scrollers in the whole game for New Game Plus. And this is a section where if you have to get up, stretch your legs for a minute or so, you can. It's kind of drab, but it puts a lot of stuff into motion, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, basically it's the only real break that you're gonna get during the whole New Game Plus run, like half an hour into the run itself. So, you know, gotta make the most of it.
Yeah, I think when I did an Act 1 run of this for a marathon that was last minute, and it was right after I did another run, and I used that opportunity to run up and refill my drink. It was great. It's great.
Yeah, it's nice to have a break during longer speedruns for sure. I mean, normally if you were to play the new game category of this game, like we explained earlier, you get about 2 hours of breaks during the whole thing because you cannot skip the cutscenes. They are of varying length, of course, so not every cutscene is, you know, okay for you to get up and use the bathroom or get something to drink and whatnot. But at least at the end of every act, you get like a longer, I don't know, 3 to 5 minute break, which is actually nice because it just allows you to get up and stretch a little bit and stuff like that. Also interesting thing here, this is where we will now try and infiltrate Azamo Bay. And what happens here is we have to get to another cutscene trigger while we are in range of our allies here. However, what we have found is if we just skirt around basically the range of where we are allowed to be compared to our allies, we can make it so that Kenji is very insistent about a few people. So if I do this right here, I'll just skirt along the edge here until the countdown starts.
A few people fought back.
A few people fought back. Yeah, Kenji, they definitely did.
A few people fought back.
Uh-huh. Okay, a few people fought back. I get it.
A few people.
Oh, really? Did they now?
He just wants you to know a few people fought back.
Yeah, he's very insistent about this. Oh yeah, okay. I see. Is there anything else? No, it's just a few people who fought back over and over. I get it. Well, you know, he's very insistent about these few people.
Auto-scrollers, you gotta find a way to entertain yourself, right?
At least a little bit. But yeah, here's basically the real auto-scroller where we now get into the cart and get, you know, carted into Azamo Bay among the sake barrels. So this is about a 1 minute break. That's all you get during this whole run. So, stretch.
So this is Kenji. Kenji is... He's, I want to say, the lovable fool that can do no right. He has good intentions, but his methods are not good. He tries to help people by skimming off of other people, and some of his side missions later on are you've got to go fight some people that he's ripped off because he was trying to save some food for some starving people. So it's like he means well, but the people that he's doing bad to are very bad people. So that's his theme. And he actually is. He shows up in the main fights for Act 2 and Act 3. So or no, he's not in Act 3. I'm sorry, for Act 2. So he actually does go to battle with you. So I mean, he does come brave eventually.
I mean, he's basically the comic relief character of the bunch here, because everybody else is pretty serious in a way, because, you know, we are in a pretty serious situation because our whole island has been taken over by these Mongol troops. So it's more or less a pretty sad story, actually. So you basically need a little bit of, you know, leverage. Then and again. So let's see if this Mongol slaver actually behaves and doesn't bug out on me. I hope so.
This is another point of potential minute time loss if he doesn't play nicely. The Mongol slaver is inspecting the slaves, and if you time the trigger on him wrong, he can start a second round.
Okay, I just gotta wait for him to go to the next dude now because I was too late, because I jumped instead of doing the thing.
He's in charge. A slaver.
Bastard.
He's inspecting
Okay,
the prisoners
let's
by
hope he
horses.
behaves and keeps on walking.
Follow him.
Please. He does. Does he? He does. Okay. So yeah, what
If you
can happen
trigger
here?
that too early.
Yeah, if you trigger that at the wrong point, he will just keep walking among these 3 slaves, basically indefinitely, and you have to go ahead and reload the checkpoint and do it again. Which, of course, is quite a bit of a time loss, so, I don't know. Gotta time it right. I didn't, so I had to wait for a little bit.
So this part is kind of fun. You just basically run around on the roofs and watch as he walks through because, you know, NPC vision is directly in front of them and 45 left, 45 right, and that's it. If you're not in that spot, you are invisible. So you're going to run over the top of him. You're going to make all sorts of noise. He's not going to care. As long as he doesn't see you, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
I tried
Mongols
routing...
just never learn looking up, right?
No, they don't. No, they don't. I tried routing in, picking up some gear at this spot, but we do another reset checkpoint at the end of this walk. And with the reset checkpoint, for some reason, you don't keep the gear that you pick up during this part. So
Really?
I routed that back out. Yeah, because I was trying to do that instead of shopping. I was trying to pick up all the black powder bombs here instead. And when I did reload checkpoint multiple times, I lost them. And I think it's because even though you reload checkpoint at a further area in the game, it's still reloading the stats from when the auto scroller started.
I see. Yeah, could make sense. The thing is that we probably have to clarify is why I am running on lethal. Wicked is mostly running on easy. And as we explained earlier, the enemies don't detect you as fast on easy difficulty. So it is easier to, you know, run around here just a little bit and pick up some more stuff. Whereas on lethal, the enemies will probably detect you in the meantime. And then you will get detected and have to restart the checkpoint because you are supposed to be sneaky during this part.
Calling me out, aren't you?
I am.
So once the slaver makes it all the way through to this NPC here, basically somebody is, I mean, he's trying to save his own backside. And he says, hey, your blacksmith is trying to sabotage you. I'm a blacksmith. I can do better work. And for some reason, even though Taka has been doing all the work, the slaver's like, all right, I'll go kill him. But you better be able to do the work that you say you can.
And this is one of
so
the
now,
parts where you would have to, you know, sneak around all of these Mongols. But since we are a pretty good, you know, roly-poly samurai ghost, we can just do this.
Market's full of more.
at that tumbleweed go. Another thing that they did is you had looking on the screen, he gets dirty when he rolls around, which is really fun. I think that's great. So you've got to kind of roll back and forth at the end area there because you want to be on those stairs when you do the reset checkpoint, or else it will reset you at the other side of the market, and you wasted all that time and all that effort.
Yeah, exactly. So basically the trigger for that is when Jin talks about that the market is full of Mongols, then you know you can just go ahead and reload the checkpoint because it will spawn you on the other side of it.
And as you saw, just walking behind the slaver. Like, again, we're not 45 left or right, so he can't see us.
He's a little bit oblivious, you know, he's preoccupied on his mind. Gonna go ahead and kill Taka.
Climb those crates.
But yeah, we finally freed Taka, Yuno's brother.
Where are we going? Kenji's waiting for us at the crossroads. Kenji's with you?
Now we
If he made it
escape
out alive.
HSMO Bay. This is a very long running session, and we learned, I don't know who was the first person to realize it, that if you do a stagger step or a roll, your stamina fully regens. So you're not Mario. You can't run forever. You do have stamina gauge. So as you start seeing Jin start to pant and start to slow down a little bit, if you do a little stagger step, as you saw, or a roll, his stamina completely refills and you get to take off again. So that was a huge thing to be notified of, because if not, you have to wait like usually 5 to 10 seconds for your stamina to refill.
The thing is, though, you can't actually see your stamina bar. You can really only see it when Jin starts dropping his head and breathing heavily. So you'll just look out for that and then do a dodge step or a roll, like Wicked said, and you are basically good to go again.
Horses, they're coming for us. Get in the tall grass and stay down.
So yeah, we escaped Osamu Bay. Here comes Kenji with our horses. And now we are out of here.
Taka, you made it.
Were you followed?
No.
So aside from
It's crawling
the
with
ancient samurai art of
We have to put
tumbleweed
some distance
samurai,
between us and Azamo Bay.
there's also another samurai technique that not everyone is aware of, and that's pogo samurai. Yeah, monkey jump, pogo. I like pogo samurai.
It's not bad, not bad.
Haven't
On a
seen
lot
animals
of
since
these sessions where you're riding a
need to
horse
figure out where
with
to
a
next.
companion, for some reason they want to trot instead of
All
ride.
right.
So it's actually faster to get off the horse and jump,
I can help
and
you, one
that
of
jumping is faster than the horse's trot.
Taka,
And so even though for this section you have to get through all of the dialogue before it'll actually finish the cut, you actually trigger the dialogue faster because you're getting them to the trigger points faster rather than just doing the standard slow gallop. Because even though they're supposed to be galloping, they will keep up with you while you are jumping. So it's a little time save. Well, it's actually a significant time save.
forward.
Yeah, basically what happens in these walkie-talkie sections is that your movement speed is basically slowed down to a minimum, except your jumping speed. And that is why we just jump during all of these encounters to go as fast as we possibly can still.
So we've got Taka. The reason we need Taka is because he's the greatest blacksmith on the island. He's going to make us some tool to help us rescue our uncle. Hooray! Yay! Now we need to go recruit the Straw Hat Ronin, they're Ronin. They're mercenaries for hire. And so we want them to help us save our uncle. And we get to meet an old friend, Ryuzo.
Straw Hat
He's a good guy.
mercenaries seen in the area.
Totally. I mean, he's our best friend since childhood. You know, we have a lot of history with him. Best man, best dude. You love him.
I would invite him to my wedding.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, just give him a
So-
shield, you know, to hang on the boat.
There you go. We don't talk about that with Lady. She doesn't know that everyone's getting a shield. So, shh.
Secret.
She knows that everyone's getting. Yeah, she knows that everyone's getting a weapon, but she doesn't know that everyone's getting a shield because those are a secret. But anyway, sorry. Back to the game.
Uncle Convoy.
So Ryuzo, the whole story behind Ryuzo is
Ambushed.
he's envious. I mean, there's no other real way to put it. He's your childhood friend, but he's that friend that, he would watch you and then be like, I wish that was me. He wanted to be a samurai and enter the service of a lord. And there was a huge tournament that you were involved in and he was involved in. And you find out later on that you kind of wiped the floor with him. And he's always held a little bit of resentment against that.
Get away from
But
us.
because he lost in that tournament, he no longer was recruited into a samurai, so he became a Ronin. And he is now the leader of the glorious Straw Hat Ronin. So, I mean, things are working out for him, right?
So let's see if I can do the standoff right this time. Already looking better.
This is for Komoda Beach.
This is how the one in the Tale of Lady Masato should have looked like.
So this battle is a good example of where one well-placed black powder bomb will end a small fight. After we, unless he doesn't do it right.
Yep.
So after we do the standoff, you run up and you kill the archer. After you kill the archer, this group of individuals start to attack you. If you throw a black powder bomb at the,
what are you doing? It's one
if you throw a
guy. I
black
killed
powder
about
bomb there-
20 of them.
Ryuzo NPC is just terrible. Terrible.
He can't kill.
He's supposed to finish this guy off for you, but he just didn't want to.
Wait, see, this is exactly why we are better than Ryuzo. This is why we beat him in that duel in our childhood. Well, not childhood,
Right.
but adolescence. Yeah.
But you're the bad person because he is just terrible.
Dude, like really.
So again, another unfortunate bad RNG fight. There's nothing you can do about those.
The thing is also,
Why didn't you tell me you were at Komoda?
difficulty also affects your NPC allies. Like, we already said, you know, on lethal, basically every hit you take is deadly. It isn't so much on easy, and that is exactly why the NPC is actually way more helpful on lethal difficulty than they are on easy or any of the lower difficulties. Because on lethal, they actually deal a lot of damage to the enemies and are able to kill enemies on their own. Except for Ryuzo here, who wasn't able to kill that one guy for whatever reason. But yeah, on lethal difficulty, the NPCs are actually helping you out, especially Yuna and Sensei Ishikawa, because they are archers, and they can basically kill other enemies with a single arrow on lethal difficulty, which is pretty great. If only they would shoot more arrows.
What's he got the power to give?
But Ryuzo, with his sword and his mighty Ronin skills,
Yeah.
can't take that guy out.
I think this is the first time that I've seen him not being able to kill that one dude. It is
It
ridiculous.
is very uncommon.
I guess this is a prime... This has never happened before moment.
It can't have been easy keeping the Straw Hats
No, I've
together
not
after
seen
Komoda
it.
Beach.
I probably have, but I've not seen it. We'll go with that.
Convince them nobody
So,
can save us but ourselves.
After
That's true.
you
I used to think so.
you basically saved Ryuzo from the ambush,
How many men do you
you're asking him now, will you help me free my uncle? And he says, I'll think about it, but what's in it for me? You tell him that he can make him a samurai, and he's not really
They're hoarding food there.
buying into it because, you know, it's a samurai on an island conquered by Mongols. What's the real point there? So there's a little bit more convincing to Ryuzo. So he's not a one and done like the other NPCs. We actually have to talk to him a couple times and get a few missions for him. Three missions for Ryuzo. He's a stubborn old man.
I wanted to give them
He's really concerned about his man.
I met no
Which, I mean, that's
disrespect.
fair and all, but
He's a little bit too
Goes
stuck. Ah, Jesus Christ, dude. So rude, not letting me go first.
You have to look hard. I've got a spare set of armor.
Not only is he not able to kill that one guy, he also, you know, goes first with rocks.
Spare armor's in the chest.
Jesus Christ, dude.
rude.
Yeah. Bleeding time, man. Bleeding time. The hell?
So Ryuzo somehow thinks that in order to be a good Ronin, you have to dress like them, and so he gives you a set of Ronin armor, which is just meh. Again, we don't want it. We don't really want it. We'll change out of it as soon as we need to. But it's good armor for casual play. A lot of these armors, they actually do hold a lot of significance during play, but not for us. We don't care about it in the speedrun. That armor,
Yeah.
no bueno.
Like the ghost armor is the only one with the Terrify perk, and as we explained earlier, that does good work, so we want to wear that as much as we possibly can. So all the other armors are more or less useless to us during the speedrun. For a few exceptions, though.
So now we're off to the lighthouse. And this lighthouse over by, goodness, what's it called? Port Izuma. The lighthouse at Port Izuma, the reason why we're going over here is because the whole reason Ryuzo was out in the wild was he's looking for food. He's trying to get food for his men so his men can eat and be happy and you know, fed.
Not
It's
starve.
very important. So after you defeat the Mongols, you find out that
Good.
they didn't have, you know, they took all his food, and he thinks they took it to this lighthouse. So now your mission is to infiltrate this lighthouse, kill everybody, and get the food. which, per standard RPG fashion, doesn't really go too well for you.
And a signal at the top of the tower.
Surely does not.
Reinforcements from the bay will be trapped. They'll cut us.
So this mission is really great. The whole concept of this mission is you sneak in, you disable the signal cannons so that way you don't get flanked from the ground, from the shore, and then you start an ambush and an attack. But again, you're supposed to sneak in. This game has a lot of parts where you're supposed to be sneaky. And with this one, you want to kind of run around to the right side and you play these little games to try to get in there. It's not necessary. You run right over the top of this roof and you're good. You're good.
Just
What
keep on
is
rolling.
sneak? Sneak is roll. Look at that. Right up through. We're good.
As the saying goes, if they don't see you rolling, they don't hate you.
Signal the others. They'll see me.
I say that, the other great saying that I'm sure was started with the samurai, keep rolling. Rolling, rolling. And if you didn't hear me, what? Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
Exactly. All comes back to the samurai, people.
It is.
This
They
has
started it.
centuries ago.
They were ahead of their time with their techniques.
Definitely were.
Who'd have known if you didn't want to be seen? You
roll.
crouch down and you roll.
Who's still left? Nobody is.
So this battle is another good black powder bomb fight. You throw one towards the gate. You come up to the left side. That guy's running away. He didn't want to play.
That was a really good fight. Ryuza was just in place where he needed to be for the cutscene to trigger. Holy hell.
Huzzah!
It
Good
was
fight.
basically perfect RNG, I want to say.
The Mongols have small
It's making up for his inadequacies earlier.
We'd have to cut through
So
their
you
line.
kill everybody here at the lighthouse. They don't have any food here. We're taking the food offshore. So now you gotta scout this area and go offshore. It's the Sutsu lighthouse. I'm sorry, it's not Port Izuma. That's later. That's the final area, I think.
While we still
Yeah.
boat.
Izumo.
Flaming arrow might set off those explosives.
So you're planning your attack for this. Once again, this is supposed to be another super sneaky, stealthy area. You set your archers up on the cliff so that way they can
Let's find a way down.
be sneaky and shoot these explosive barrels and make a big old distraction so you can run behind everybody. But again, through the art of rolling,
Did whatever it took to win.
we don't need to worry about any of that. I also found in my run,
Did I?
if you have a smoke bomb, you can aggro everybody and just smoke bomb right at the canoe, and you're good.
Yeah, so basically, if you don't sneak through here, you would have to kill everybody until you can activate the boat, basically, to go ahead. But if you just go over here, drop a smoke bomb,
We need to move quickly.
you can actually activate that trigger and go ahead.
Bombs are amazing.
Yeah.
They
All kinds of
instantly
bombs.
take you out of combat. I don't know if they were intended to be that way,
Ship's crew too.
but they work that way. And we're going to use them to our advantage several times later in some rather precarious situations.
I never knew our duel bothered you so much.
Now you do.
Now there they are, talking about that
should have
duel
told me
where
earlier.
Jin beat Ryuzo and shamed him in front of all the samurai lords.
It was a long time.
No food
He just
here.
doesn't let it go, does he?
Food?
Nope,
Not here.
he holds a grudge.
Next ship. Hear that? Sounds like 4 or 5 guys.
So what you don't see, the little tiny significant things that you're not recognizing and realizing, you may keep seeing things popping up on the right-hand side. When we do this run, we are very cognizant of where all the little tools and ammo and bombs and everything's at. And so we're constantly running by, triggering R2 to pick things up just so we can get all the gear as we run by. It's imperative that we get everything that we can when we do this because tools are the lifeblood.
And once again, you can see how effective these black powder bombs really are. Because one
Able to-
bomb throw, everybody's dead basically.
Able to clear a deck with a single bomb. It's quite lovely.
In here.
It is.
Now, are you going to go for the blowgun tactics, or are you going to
I
kill
will
him?
try, yeah. If I remember to do it and actually hit the guy, not get beaten to death by him. Like I did last time.
So after you find these battle plans in this ship, we run back over to the other ship, where once again Ryuzo, being the amazing Ronin that he is,
Dude, shoot.
is getting his butt whipped. You need to de-aggro this brute, and the fastest way to do that is to just shoot him with a poison arrow.
Burning our food. Jump.
Let's get out of sight. They're still hunting us.
Still no food,
Once
though.
again, yep, no food. There was gonna be food, but then the Mongols said, "Well, burn the ship," and now you're going back empty-handed. And once again, Ryuzo, he's upset about it. He's like, "I'm going back empty-handed," but realistically, like, come on now. At least you survived, right? Killed like 50 Mongols and you got away. So just be happy for that.
He isn't,
I
though.
need to find Yuna.
He's not. He's never happy. There's no pleasing Ryuzo.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's why you've got to do 3 missions for him, because he's stubborn. Stubborn.
So that was 2 of them. Another is coming up really shortly.
And as you can see here, it was a very short ride from where we ended that mission at to Komatsu Forge, which is the reason why I was mentioning earlier, the specific order that we do the missions in sets up the shortest distance from end to start of new. Very helpful.
Yeah, so that over there already is Komatsu Forge. It is another town that is, beleaguered by the Mongol forces, but as the name implies, it has the best forge on the island, and as we explained earlier, we need Taka to smooth up something for us to scale the walls of Castle Kaneda, where our uncle is being held prisoner. So that is why we need the forge of Komatsu Forge. Also, where the hell is my horse? There it is.
I don't know if this Kaneda you speak of.
It's not Canada, dude. It's not. It's Kaneda.
Fighting ahead.
So once we get here, the idea in this section, there's a few Mongols here. You just clear them out real quick, make life better. And then after this, it's kind of got the fetch quest thing going on, but instead of fetching items, you're fetching people. It's a bit annoying, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, I really hated this quest on my casual playthrough because it's all this back and forth all over town, like getting all these people together. Like, really annoying.
And the one person that should stay put, the strongest warrior of all of them, goes and runs off and does her own thing. It's like, now you got to go find her.
Yep.
It's a bit silly.
They'll have to do.
The game is silly at sometimes, but it's okay. It makes up for it a lot of other places, so it's all right.
Is it safe? The Mongols are gone.
But yeah, this
So
quest basically teaches you that Mongols can take hostages, and well, you gotta make sure that they don't kill the hostages.
But we can't light it.
And they really drive that point home over and over again during this mission.
To find us.
We can use it to
Oh,
lure
yes.
them in. Force a fight at a location we control.
Lord, there's that guy.
Expecting
If you aggro the Mongols while there is a hostage nearby, the Mongol will then focus on that hostage, and if they strike them, they're one shots, so they're little squishy bears. They go down quick. So if you can't get to them fast enough, mission over, reset. Thanks for trying.
I mean, the whole island has been basically slaughtered by the Mongols, but God forbid another person dies.
Listen. This one could have been saved, so you better save him.
I think I just shot him between the legs. With a fire
All's fair.
arrow.
All is fair. I'm not holding anything against you at this point. If you fire arrow a guy in the crotch, you fire arrow a guy in the crotch. It is what it is.
Man.
Yukio?
That's all I'm saying.
Well, just think about later on when the Mongols march into this town and they see that guy
Follow my orders.
with an arrow in his crotch. That's terror before you even start the battle.
Probably.
So that's just building that terror meter.
Preemptively.
Don't look at
There you
it.
go.
Look at me.
So the idea for this part is Taka can't build you anything without his great assistant. So you run off to this first building, kill the 2 Mongols outside to save the assistant. Well, while you're off trying to save the assistant, he says, well, my wife,
Sent me.
she's over here. Can you go save her? So you got to rescue her. You
we
want
gotta
to
bring them
shoot
back to
these
the
guys
village.
with a flaming arrow or an explosive arrow to kind of get everyone to just disperse and go away. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's why you saw Ash was double checking to make sure.
Keep quiet.
They don't always die or get feared. But now we've got the assistant, we've got the wife, so clearly we're ready, right?
Yeah, it's too big fight.
Yeah. Let's do it.
do it.
Unfortunately though, the great Yuna is she decided she wanted to run off and do her own thing too. So when we were ready and we risked our neck to go get the assistant and his wife, now we got to go risk our neck again to go find Yuna. So thanks a lot, Yuna. It's not very nice.
Well, you know, she wanted to rescue even more people on the other side of the river, so yeah, just trying to be helpful, but she hasn't returned yet, so duh. All these helpful people.
Fine. So the idea for this portion is supposed to be sneaking around again, all the way around, and basically assassinating these guys one by one, just so that way you don't have an issue with being seen or killing the hostage. But again, we don't have time for that. We're just gonna go straight up, roll our way right up to the first guy, and just oh no, you go a different route. Never mind, disregard me. I go sneaky route into it, a little bit different, but this is why
You go
Ash
fast,
does
dude.
lethal and I do the other way.
Just kill Mongols the quick way.
It works.
Yeah.
Everyone stay close to me.
Once you kill all the Mongols, now these ones can be saved. Yay!
Gotta go back to the forge.
Super exciting.
Where did he come from? It's a long story. The way he
You know, gotta collect all the villagers.
killed, not human.
That's right.
It's like Komatsu Pokemon or something. I don't know.
Villagers, gotta catch them all.
Basically. If only they could transform and help you or something. I don't know.
So now we've got everybody. We're ready.
Light the forge. Tucker.
The idea for this part is that, all right, so we need to make a stand. So what are we going to do? We're going to light the forge so that way they know we're here and they come to us rather than us coming to them. Even though I think it'd be better to be super sneaky and, you know, ninja them from the bushes, we want to make our stand in this spot and just get,
Well,
bum rushed.
Jin still has a little bit of honor left in him.
A little bit. So this is another fight that I would say before Ash really focused on where everybody can spawn from, because they all have spawn points. This one is another one where you can get just terrible RNG. You can get people stuck inside the forge, behind the forge. You can just... It's a mess. This battle stinks. It's definitely a run killer sometimes.
Where is that dog? Huh? Oh, where? What? Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Because normally that dude runs away when I kill the other one inside, but he didn't. So I have to go outside and kill him so that this guy actually spawns. Because I was looking for this spear guy the whole time.
The spear guy has to spawn to trigger the next spot. After you kill the spear guy, then you get to kill the archers. And then after you kill the archers, the second wave comes out. And then after the second wave, then you get the commander. So you survive. Again, plot armor is a beautiful thing. But I don't think this was really a well thought out plan.
Okay, totally missing that. Nice.
And as you see there, he's got Yuna doing all the work for him.
So this guy definitely is not supposed to get this far into the forge.
I hope you can save the villager. Okay, good. Again, I'm delayed by like 10 seconds, so I was nervous there for a little bit.
Oh, that's fine, it's fine. It's just this looked way more messy than it should have been, just because these two guys are running off because they didn't get terrified as they normally do. Again, you know, it's RNG. You are a slave to it.
So as you saw, this was another instance where the blowgun comes into play, and this is new routing techniques ideas because instead of fighting that commander to finish him off, you shoot him with a poison dart. It instantly incapacitates him and ends the fight. So, hooray!
Yeah, the thing is, we normally don't use the blowgun because when you use it the first time, a cutscene triggers between young Jin and his uncle, you know, telling him to be an honorable warrior and all that stuff, and that just loses time because that is one of the cutscenes you cannot skip whatsoever, and that is why we refrained from using it. However, we found out that as long as you haven't done a certain quest yet, a certain main quest yet, that cutscene doesn't actually occur. So, you know, we are good to use the blowgun until that point.
Yeah, Charles found out about that. He's another one that actually I would say does the most kind of, I want to say glitch hunting or exploit hunting. He did a lot of, hey, what do I do if I throw a bomb here and blow myself back up into? He's the first one that figured out how to basically explode his way through a locked door, which was pretty cool.
I mean, it's pretty normal stuff, you know. You just trigger an explosion and get blasted through the door, kind of.
Thank you for your patience.
You could do
Yeah,
that.
you got to get the horse backed up halfway into the door. Throw the explosive right in front of the horse. Spook the horse. Get bucked off the horse. But because you got bucked backwards and you were halfway through the door, hey, now you're in there. It's great.
Totally normal stuff, right? Could happen in real life.
So Taka, the greatest blacksmith on the island, and the greatest forge on the island. He built you an iron hook. So, I mean, there's that. I'm sure for, you know, whatever year this is, that's super high tech and amazing, but did you really need the best forge to do that?
Definitely did.
Yes.
So during this part, we're going to see once again the Pogo Samurai. Because Pogo Samurai, again, is faster than Ryuzo being on his horse. If you get far enough ahead of Ryuzo, you can actually start running. If not, you have to just keep jumping. But this mission here is called Iron Hook and is amply named so. If you count the number of times you use the Iron Hook in this mission, which is not intentional, you got the Iron Hook to save your uncle, not to, you know, go rescue Ryuzo's men. You actually use the Iron Hook more in this mission than you do in the mission it was specifically created for.
You will never stop complaining about this, will you?
Never. That is ridiculous, and it makes me mad. It's like, here's a new tool. Let's learn how to use it during this mission. Okay, now here's the actual mission you got it for. But you could have used a ladder. Nope, you cannot.
Should have come to me.
I'm bitter, okay? I get bitter about things. I don't let them go. You know what conversation
You're just a
You know what conversation I haven't started yet, though.
Maybe I should have. Someone in Komatsu called you the ghost.
I still haven't started the conversation about how this is the game of the year. I don't care about Last of Us. This game. Game of the year.
Or it's the game of the hearts, you know.
Yes.
Clearly is.
Yeah, this is good times. So he's still mad at us. This is where we find out what I was telling you earlier, that you kind of messed him up, and because you did all the bad things to him, then it's kind of your fault that he can't become a samurai. Everyone was there.
God damn it.
Yeah, everyone was there to see him was there to see you, yet he was trying to prove himself, and you showed him up. So, you know, how dare you? How dare you?
We'll figure out how to free your men.
But we gotta go rescue his men. So, let's do this. Let's do this. This mission has been kind of routed a couple different ways. From when it started, there used to be basically like an over the top of all the buildings and then come down on everybody. And now we have the incorporation of the fire, which helps to change how we do the fights. And then at the end of this mission, you'll get to see the part where 2 black powder bombs can destroy an entire army of bad guys. It's quite fantastic.
Was too fast.
There's only one road into the
So
fort.
also on
It'll
this
be
mission
heavily
here,
guarded.
you tell
We need to
Ryuzo
get
you're going to
inside
go
without
climbing
being
up the
seen.
backside
Mongols
of
won't
the
be
mountain.
watching the cliffs at the back of the
And
fort. I'll climb up,
he
over
asks
the
you
wall.
if you're half monkey.
Are you half
And
monkey?
because of that and that alone,
I have something to
Jin
help you.
in my
I'll free your
playthrough
men.
has a monkey mask on.
Once they're
And when
with
you
me,
get
I'll set off one of
the
alarms.
Ronin armor.
Embrace
think
the
it's-
monkey.
Crush the Mongols between us.
Embrace the monkey.
See, I knew you'd have a plan.
I'll find a way up the
I mean,
cliff
we
on
do a
this
lot
side.
of monkeying around for Ryuzo, don't we?
Yeah.
Quickly, Kage.
But yeah, this
So once
is
again,
basically the
setting up his
introduction
arrows.
to the iron hook, how we can use that to, you know, grapple along things and whatnot, as the kid said earlier.
Can't jump that gap. But that says his
That's
Somehow,
nice
though,
tool.
you
worked.
you have a grappling hook that you can throw and latch on to branches. Every branch that has one of these,
Red and white
I
stripes.
guess, cloth, on it, you can grapple onto. It's very considerate of someone to go all over Tsushima and hang a bunch of red and white cloth on a bunch of branches so you would know where to throw your iron hook. So whoever did that is the true hero of Tsushima.
My headcanon
regardless of
is
what
that
Jin
it
does.
is Taka, because all of these red and white stripes only show up once you have the iron hook, and, you know, only Taka knew that he was doing that. And he said himself he tested it with his own weight, so, you know,
There you go.
probably did all that.
So he could have ninja'd his way into this fort, but instead he's just like, meh. Now I'm just going to mark these for you and call it good.
Well, you know, he's not a fighter. He's a blacksmith, as we learned later.
I really like the ones where you throw the hook and then you release the hook and throw it again, but you only have one hook. So I don't know how he's doing that, but you know, samurai magic, I guess.
He's just that good.
Need to find Ryuzo's men.
So once he gets to the top of this cliff up here, if you notice when he was about ready to finish with Ryuzo, he set up his arrows. Use a regular arrow to shoot a hanging light, basically the fire. Catch that guy on fire. Woohoo, he's dead. Yay! And then now he's going to just sneak up on these guys and kind of slowly murder his way through the fort. Because once again, Ryuzo needs you. And so you are the greatest. You can kill everybody.
Oh, it didn't hit him.
And you're showing it. So in here, part of this mission in here is to rescue the captive Straw Hats. And they're held in these bamboo cages. Just like the Straw Hat Ronin that was held in the bamboo cage earlier, it says hold R2 to open cage. We don't have time for that. We just hit it with a strong attack, and well, any attack. And the cage magically opens, so hopefully nobody's standing behind the door, and instant out for them. Fortunately, black powder bombs do not hurt our friends. So even though we've got six of our people standing around 3 of their people, we still want to blow them up. It's quite fantastic. That was a good dart, by the way. Right into his back and didn't do a thing.
Well, I hit his shield. But yeah, it was a little bit iffy.
Set up an alarm and get
Let's put it that
Ryuzo
way.
in here.
So Ash pulled out incendiary oil for his sword. Again, fire is our friend. If we're not blowing them up, we want to set them on fire as much as possible, so we do.
So this is probably my
And you wanna-
favorite fight in the game, because, you know, you have all these Mongols here, and we just wait for them to, you know, create one big mosh pit, and then throw one bomb in it, and they all die.
A lot of Mongols
And
go
that's
down
it.
with.
That's a pretty big barbecue. Bombs do work, you know.
We place
Bombs
bets.
do work.
How-
Explodey,
Get out the
explodey
marshmallow.
is a good thing. The burned body adds the extra flavor.
Smoke and ash of burning bodies.
All right,
Nice.
men. On your horses.
I need to meet you.
So that was it.
Komatsu.
That was all that work that Ryuzo had to do. We did it in like 2 minutes. I don't see why he couldn't rescue his own men, but again, he needs us, but then he gets mad because, you know, we're a better fighter than him. What do you do?
Even though we do all the work for him, a lazy bastard.
So we've done the Iron Hook, we've done the Sutsu Lighthouse. and we've done Blood on the Grass. So now we should have Ryuzo on our team, right? We've recruited everybody. We've got the Iron Hook. We are now ready to save our uncle and end Act 1. So here's hoping.
I mean, we gathered all the allies that we could, right? We are now ready to assault Castle Canada and save our uncle.
We have 3 people. We are definitely ready. Before we were 1, now we are 4. Multiplication.
Yeah. So this is the part where we could talk to our allies to get a few more, dialogue options out of them, see how they are holding up before this battle and whatnot. I'm not gonna do that. It takes time.
Well, there's too many good things around to pick up. Still want to pick up things like linen and stuff like that so we can sell it in case we need bombs or arrows later.
Everyone, it's time.
So this is actually
Just
also
in
the
case.
last quest of Act 1, so we are about done with about, soon done with about 1/3 of the game already.
Good stuff.
Act
see how
1
it
is,
It has
of the 3 acts, Act 1 is the most
Looks like you can
technical.
climb up.
Routing involved. Act 2 pretty much guides you everywhere you need to go after a certain mission. It basically just starts pre-guiding you. So Act 1 is the most technical. Act 2 is still technical, but not as bad. And Act 3 is literal
short.
straightforward mess. Yeah. So I'm getting some delay on my side from like complete buggy, glitchy stops. So I hope that's not happening for everybody.
the alarm.
But
Dude, what was that?
we are infiltrating Castle Canada, and here the focus is to
You and Kenji.
disarm these cannons, so that way they can't,
There's a siege
signal
weapon
an
up.
alert.
Last time
Easy enough. We just run up and assassinate, and then boom, we're good.
we need to clear the courtyard.
Hooray!
Quietly or head on.
Your move.
Now it's time to put our allies to work. Oh, it is a thing. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was a thing, and I'm just not losing my mind. Because if I needed to do a refresh, I would. So when we go into the courtyard, we have the option of going loud or, going sneaky. Again, we're speedrunners. We don't have time to go super sneaky. If we can be loud and effective, we're going to be loud and effective.
I mean, bombs are pretty loud, right? Can't put a silence on
I would-
those.
Say so.
Jin, the gate's guarded.
Follow my lead.
So Lady Masako is going to get assigned to the Hwacha, and Hwachas are amazing.
Those men were standing.
Just think of like a Saturn missile battery pack that you used to play with as a kid, the fireworks, if you guys ever got for crossing. This is the previously mentioned about an hour and 20 minutes ago bridge that you got thrown off of. So if you look at how high up it is, this bridge is the one that you were tossed off of. And the game goes a little bit, I say meta or fourth wall, whatever you want to call it. And he threw you off of this bridge. How did you survive? I don't know.
Could use Yuna's help.
I did.
I mean, it's enough,
it-
right? Could have survived it once.
So this part here, that guy that walks down below, if you walk around a little bit, you're going to get a trigger to assassinate him. Assassinating an enemy from above, well, that's dishonorable, and that's going to get you another cutscene, so we don't want to do that. But once you do it once, then it opens it up to be able to do it the rest of the game, because you only get the cutscene once. So if you make the mistake, then it almost becomes worth it to do it more later. But if you don't make the mistake, you save more time overall. That was a nice slaughter. That was very
Why
good.
am I still able to assassinate all these guys?
They don't know you're there. It is actually quite impressive that they haven't noticed you
Yeah.
up to that guy. So once you get in here and you clear out everybody, now you got to go on to our
Hold this area.
first mini boss, I guess you could say. And This is
Familiar
the first
face.
time.
Familiar face.
Yeah, and this is the first time we do an armor switch because we switch up to an armor that's DPS rather than terror because we don't need terror. And Ryuzo, he's turncoat. He's upset because his men are starving and the Khan has promised him food, so he betrays you. In New Game Plus, you would not be, I guess, looked bad upon if you thought that Ryuzo was the main bad guy, because you don't even see Khan until the very last fight. And you see Ryuzo a lot. Quite a lot.
True.
Poor guy.
But yeah, Dance of Wrath basically makes short work of most of the duels in a New Game Plus run, because it just deals so much damage to everybody. And of course,
Yeah,
it is a technique that you only get during a side quest, so if you were to play a New Game run of this game, you wouldn't even get that and have to do all the duels normally. Which of course would be
that's no fun. There is also a way to skip this standoff here. Not 100% sure how I do it, but I just kind of mash, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it's a bit iffy.
It is iffy, so it's not too much of a time save or loss either way. If you skip the standoff, then you can possibly terror a couple of these guys. But if you don't terror them and you don't do the standoff, then it actually ends up being a little bit longer.
I just like to do it because it refills your resolve after the duel again, so you are able to use your techniques.
Yes, that is true. So that is one thing that the duels are very, very good for. It refuels your resolve. I think it's 3.5 for the first one, and then 2 for each consecutive strike afterwards. So it brings it up quite a bit.
Yep. Uncle definitely does. And here's our uncle. You finally saved him. Hooray! We have a fighting chance now.
Yeah.
Because of that one dude.
That's right. We have saved Lord Shimura, so now the island can be saved. It's not going to be by our hand. It's going to be clearly because of how great Uncle is. This is another quick fight. Easy peasy. Couple bombs. When I'm doing Act 1%, which is literally just this battle and that's it, you're done. I like to use my sticky bombs and just go all explosive on them and throw as much as I can.
And that is Act 1.
Hey, GG's.
Thank you.
That was a good Act 1. Even with a couple of the bad RNGs, you still had a good Act 1.
Yeah, pretty happy with that.
Anytime you can get an Act 1 under 125 is really good. So 121.13 is what I saw when it came up. It's really good.
Might actually been
I'm gonna check
better than my previous best.
I'm gonna check for you. Don't you worry. I got you. I got you. So now that we've saved Uncle, the idea is that now we can start taking back the island. This game is very good at sectioning the island off. You couldn't come to this castle beforehand because if you got closer, it would say this is an overwhelming force. You can't survive and you will get just destroyed. And it's literally one bridge that takes you from part A to part B. To go from chapter 2 to chapter 3, there's 2 bridges that you can go over. But again, you can't get to them because of overwhelming force. So it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto rules where once you open it up, you can travel all over. But until then, it's got something that blocks you, which is pretty cool. I like it.
Of all kinds.
Your best is 120. Let's see here. 121.44. So yeah, you did PB on that. GG's, my friend.
Marathon luck.
Yay! Yay.
I mean, they just gotta carry that 30-second time save till the end of the game, and it's gonna be a world record, right?
Could be. I believe in you. I want you to understand that. I believe in you. I think chat believes in you. Now that you've got the PB, we got PB hype. I know Una believes in you.
Oh, jeez.
Currently, Lord Shimura believes in you. Currently.
Spoilers, dude. He always believes in me. He's my trusted uncle who has raised me because all my family is dead.
We haven't even talked about what happened to Jin before this story and why he's
No.
so bent on it. So this is a good time for this.
Exactly. Go ahead.
So
I'm sorry
one of the
I
other
couldn't free you
big
sooner.
parts in the prologue is you learn about what happened to Jin's family and why he's so close to his uncle. Your father was Lord Sakai. He was the leader of Clan Sakai. However, during a bandit raid,
Kept you alive.
your father died. Your mother had died beforehand, and then it was I think it was about a few years later. Then this bandit raid came and killed your father. You've been haunted, or Jin. I keep saying you and we like I'm in the game. I'm in the
You
game.
know he's brave.
Jin's been haunted by that because he feels like he was a coward. He didn't help his father when he had the chance. He literally hid while the guy killed him. So he's been remorsed of that. But Lord Shimura is your uncle. I believe.
You have my full support.
I think it's on your mother's side, but I'm
Yeah,
not
I mean,
sure.
otherwise it wouldn't make much sense because if he would be your father's brother, Shimura would be the Lord of Clan Sakai, right?
Right. So he's your
has to
uncle.
be from his mother's side.
Yeah, and so he says, I'm going to take you in, and I'm going to teach you how to be a samurai. So he's like our father figure. He's our uncle. He's our entire life, and that's why. Again, when you play New Game Plus and you skip all the cutscenes and you skip the prologue, it does have a huge advantage for speedrunning. We know the game, but for those of you that don't know the game, you miss out on everything that makes this game great, in my opinion.
Speaking of which, since, Shimura takes you in to basically raise you as his own son, one of the viewers in my streams once said that Shimura is basically your uncle dad.
Don't you say it.
Which we switched to dad uncle, and since then Shimura has become known as the Dunkle. There, I said it. Leah will be happy now. She won't.
It's her fault she's not here.
No, it's the organizer's fault. She would have been here, but it's just too early in the morning.
I still blame her. I'm here. Now, granted, it was 7 o'clock at night for me, so it's not like it was an issue at all for me.
Where's my horse? Where is my horse?
He ran off. He was tired of your shenanigans.
Where is my fucking horse? There it is.
It's not the one that's on the ground lying there, is it? No, it's not.
No, I hope
Okay.
not. God.
Yeah, look at that. The organizer is in here, and he heard you say that. He is hurt.
The whole thing why I got in this marathon is because I told you guys I had 2 Swiss ladies commentating for me, and then I was put at a 3 a.m. slot, and both of them was like, nope, I gotta sleep.
And I can guarantee you 2 Swiss ladies has a much nicer voice than this guy commentating, but this is what you get. So blame the commentators for having to listen to me for 3.5 hours.
Exactly. But dude, you are doing a banging job commentating, like really. Glad to have you.
So yay. So this fight, since we were too busy giving Raz to the commentators, kind of missed on what happens here. So as you come across with Uncle and you're done talking about what's going on, you find out that the Mongols are basically raiding and destroying everything. So you stop a bandit raid, and then you come to this lighthouse, and that's the idea. You want to light the lighthouse to give hope to your people. You kill 1 archer. Again, it's kind of this 1 archer theme that we got going. After you kill 1 archer at the gate, they open the gate, you throw a bomb, you run to the side, you blow up a barrel to kill everybody. This one can get a little bit RNG to where the enemies at one end kind of can be a pain in the neck, but once you clear them out, then more Mongols come from up the road. A couple little bombs, easy peasy stuff. So now the idea here,
You're ready to fight.
also during the walk up to the whole after you save Lord Shimura and to get into here,
would I not,
Lord Shimura,
would I have gotten in without them? Sorry, just quickly
I'm glad
answering
you
the
came,
chat there.
I saw that.
Distraction.
A pleasure.
Sorry, go on.
One of the things that
That
is also kind of a key point in this story is your uncle Lord Shimura does not really like that you've befriended this thief, and that becomes a theme and part of the game as well. Is that she's a thief? She's not honorable. So when she helps you basically win this fight, Lord Shimura is like, you were an effective distraction. Like, that's cold, bro. That's cold.
I mean, it is true, but you know, it's a little bit, yeah, well, an expression of his distrust of her.
Which is funny because again, later on,
Time we send out.
he's a little bit two-faced because he gives you grief for liking a thief, but later on, one of his missions, and he'll tell you at the top of this lighthouse, he's like, I know this pirate that can get a message to the mainlands because he's a pirate. He knows how to sail out of these waters. And it's like, oh, you're giving us grief for knowing a thief, but you're friends with a pirate?
It's basically his overprotective father side for Jin, you know, because he, as a father figure, sees his son basically being in cahoots with a thief, and it's like, bad influence, bad influence.
A warrior monk.
Oh, very bad influence. Because one of the other things that, again, story that you don't see is that several different cutscenes go back and forth between Lord Shimura and the Khan. And the Khan is basically taunting Lord Shimura, telling him that Jin is becoming this
Walk with me, Nori. I want to show you
dishonorable individual, that he has started going around stabbing people in the back instead of facing them eye to eye. And that is something that it definitely does play for the reason why Lord Shimura doesn't trust you. I mean, trust her is because he thinks that she's corrupting you to not be an honorable samurai.
I mean, you know,
so
she
this
kinda is, but what choice do you have in the situation you are in, right? If you were just going to follow your samurai way and waltzing right into the front gate of every Mongol camp you come across, yeah, you wouldn't probably survive that for too long.
So this is Norio. Norio is one of a lot of people's favorite characters, but unfortunately has the least amount of dialogue in the entire game, and we don't care about what he has to say.
Also the
He starts
least amount
talking
of
about
quests that you have to do, because while you have to do at least one quest for every other character that you recruit, you have to do 0 for Norio. He just follows you around. He's just that good of a buddy.
he's good, and yet we literally just write off away from him. He starts talking about how we've got to go save this other temple, and he's just like, peace out, bro.
And we do that every time he comes on screen, because Nori's is such a good bud, you can always just run away from him and there is no penalty for it.
So aside from having the amazing vocal talents of two Swiss ladies, Ash also had the amazing vocal talents of Jin and Norio on his very first speedrun of this game. And it was quite impressive because, like, Norio, who's someone we don't ever really talk to in the game, in the speedrun, did literally the most talking
Yes.
during the whole speedrun. So
You know,
it was quite nice. It was fitting that the one person we don't talk to in game was talking IRL. It was quite lovely.
He had to make up for it somehow, because, you know, because you hear so much of Jin, but so little of Norio. He just had to be reversed in real life, I guess.
I did feel bad for Jin. Jin was the main character in the game, but during that speedrun, he was pretty silent. But I mean, he got in his words when he wanted to. It was just really funny. But if you guys aren't part of this community, let's go ahead and plug the community real quick. If you guys aren't part of this community, it is a great community. It's kind of gotten a little bit more focused on legends rather than the story.
The multiplayer mode of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But when we first started doing speedruns and when we got into the first speedrun of this, Ash reached out to the production team and reached out to the voice actors and had the voice actors on here, and they are such great characters. Like, they really are. They're amazing
They are
people.
awesome people. And they also stream,
so
by
it
the
was
way.
really cool.
So
Yes, they do.
If you want to catch their streams, you can follow Daisuke2G and Earl of Samich. They are streaming pretty regularly
Samich.
on Twitch. And they are the voice actors of Jin Sakai and Norio, respectively.
Which I think is really funny. If you look at Earl of Samich and you look at Norio, it's like they created the character off of him. And he sounds just like Norio because he is Norio. But I mean, he looks like he sounds and he sounds like he looks, and it made it a perfect pairing for the game. It really did.
For sure.
So one of the things that, again, is kind of overlooked here just because of how often Ash plays this game. Ash isn't pulling up his menu. He knows what he's doing and he knows where he's going. The first thing that we want to get to is Yarikawa. If you pull up your menu between after you talk to Norio and before you get to Yarikawa, and yeah, I think it's even afterwards.
Interesting enough, right as you said that, I got lost for a bit.
If you pull up your menu, it does like a 25-second cutscene, and it's slow and it's terrible.
I just got lost between these bushes for a bit, but I found my way eventually.
Could you not find your green bush? You gotta find that green bush.
No, I didn't find my green bush. It's gone. It withered and died. Rip green bush. Heavens, chat.
Rip the green bush. That's a worse fate than the Clanadachi.
Yeah. Fuck Clanadachi, we gotta pay our respects to that one green bush. That serves as the marker of where to go. Way more important.
You made it.
You didn't ever see Clanadachi anyway.
Once we get here, this is another kind of, hey, you're supposed to be sneaky mission coming up, and we show off our amazing skills of Tumbleweed Samurai. This mission, the idea for this is this is now where you're learning a little bit of the backstory of Yuna and Taka. Yarikawa was their home, and Yuna took them out of there, her and Taka, at an earlier age. And when you do Yuna's side missions, you find out why. Her side missions, I think, have... they're the more, I want to say, modern-day realistic that you can feel. Like the Clanadachi thing, I get it, but there's not a whole lot of clans going around murdering each other. However, Yuna's story is something that is still an unfortunate... Yeah, and so that was definitely something that, if you play her story casually, and obviously we don't want to give away what the actual story is for her, but if you play her story casually, it's very impactful, and you can see why she is so protective of her brother.
The hidden entrance used to be over there, behind that white tree.
I mean, you know, if you just look at it, all of the storylines are pretty dark in a way, because there's a lot of betrayal going on and just horrible stuff all around that's happening. But different stories just hit home differently, depending on your own experiences and whatnot.
So, once we get to Yarikawa, it gives you 3 things that you're supposed to look at and view to understand where to go and what to do. This is the first instance where you can skip one of those. As long as you view the camp first and then you view the white tree, it triggers the next scene. And then you just kind of roll your way all the way to the water. Meanwhile, Taka is complaining that, you know, he can't keep up with you somehow. And you find the secret entrance underneath the waterfall.
I mean, of course it's beneath the waterfall, right? It's always beneath the fucking waterfall, like, no matter what it is.
Everything is beneath the waterfall.
Yeah, I mean, you know, secrets, treasure chests, secret entrances. It's
Bat
always
caves.
beneath the waterfall. Bat
So
caves.
in the game that I'm playing right now casually, I put in such a old school JRPG reference. I have a stairway to the basement behind the throne. So proud of that.
I forgot to do the arrow thing. Oh well.
So during this part right here that you're seeing, and he's doing the Dance of Wrath, the reason why he does that is because, again, this is a spot where you have to walk. But unlike the other spots where you can jump, they actually disable jumping in that spot. So if you use Dance of Wrath, you can actually get to this part faster. And then once again, Charles came up with the idea that if you run up the ladder and then jump down, you can skip the whole part where they talk about how the Mongols are approaching, and you get right to where the Mongols are at the gate. So it saves a few seconds if you can move through that quickly.
I mean, you know, General Temuge is actually outside that gate, right? If you could just kill him then and there, we would save so much time, because all the next 3 quests all revolve around him.
But then you wouldn't have the slaughter technique.
But still, you know, it's New Game Plus. I don't need
But
to follow the
still.
technique. I already have it.
That's
So-
true.
That could have gone better.
Let's find Tuck.
So the idea for this area, once again, there's so much story that goes in here that we unfortunately missed by. So Yarikawa is basically the other major stronghold area of the fort. There was a rebellion between Yarikawa and Shimura sometime between when Yuna was young and present day. I think it was
Yeah, I
like
think
10
about
years
20
ago or something
I
like
think it
that.
was 20 or something. A little
It's
bit longer.
something like it wasn't very long ago. But so it's still recent enough that a lot of people that are alive remember it. So there's a lot of animosity between the two. When you come to Yarikawa to recruit them to try to help the island, basically enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of thing, the idea is that you want to recruit them, but they basically think that the Mongols
Yeah, okay, we're live again. I'm gonna restart the time or continue the timer in
Sure.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Hello, everybody. We are back. Woo! Not exactly sure when we cut out, so I'm just gonna jump around a little bit here to catch you guys up.
Didn't the samurai live here?
But bear, dead bear.
Bear.
You have to be more
Yes.
careful.
Oh, it's dead.
So
Mats.
oh okay.
Sleeping here.
Well, I couldn't see it was dead yet. Bear. Bear.
Yarikawa.
Most of their food.
Maybe
Here we
that's
go,
why
Ma.
I'm still alive. He wasn't hungry.
Arrowheads, bowstrings, hide to make adhesive.
So, all right, now we can talk about what's going on here. So not sure how much of the comms you guys missed out on during the temporary disconnect. The idea is Yarikawa basically feels like the Mongols are going to just forget about them. So they're just going to try to hold out, live through the siege. The general's going to be needed somewhere else, so eventually they'll bugger off and won't mess with them. That's not going to happen. So we still need to recruit them. We still need to do good things. So after we pick up Taka, we learn that there is a group of archers, the most skilled archers in Yarikawa. They left for some reason. They were off to go try to fight the Mongols themselves, kind of ambush tactics and things like that. But unfortunately, they got caught. So now we got to help Daikoku save his archer buddies, which, again, this is a theme. Somebody wants to do something. They screw it up, and we have to come in and save the day.
I mean, we are the best guy on Tsushima, right? It's all
The
natural.
finest Tsushima warrior.
I'll shoot the
The
so the
finest.
Mongols get close.
So this fight is another fight that, again, there's quite a few of them that RNG can kick your backside. This was one that RNG triggered me pretty bad on one of them. As you saw, Ash hit one of the explosive barrels off to the right. That aggroes the enemies, so it brings them into the fight faster, as opposed to them just kind of slowly galloping. Ash, again, being the great Ash that he is, has learned where all the enemies spawn at. So he knows if he throws his bombs, if he shoots his arrows, if he does whatever he does, he knows when he can start taking off and go to the next spot. So, yay for him. But he can make pretty quick cleanup of this if he knows where he's going with it.
Where's the last one? There!
As I say that.
What are you doing over there, dude?
Is he stuck behind a tower?
He's just behind there doing whatever the hell. Like, he was way off from everybody else. Like,
hanging out.
You know, all the NPCs already returned to their starting or their end positions. It's just that one Mongol running
That's because that's a general. He ain't doing nothing.
I mean, you know,
You
I think the dynamic here is really nice. Like, you explain how good everything can look, and then the game just decides to throw a curveball and do the exact opposite.
Get your RNGesus prayers out, please, everybody. Clearly, we are messing something up here. I think that is what you call commentator's curse, I believe is what that's called.
Yeah.
Look at how good he does. He screwed it up. Never mind.
You know, I'm just showing off, or the game is showing off, how things can go wrong.
Again,
I almost forgot.
you're not doing it wrong. You're showing the way that we don't prefer to do it.
I'm
Exactly.
honored to assist you.
You know, giving the audience
So-
something to look at.
I can do a lot.
Now that we've rescued the great and wonderful archers, we're going to do a quick shopping trip, make sure we have at least enough smoke bombs. This is the other place where smoke bombs are super important, so we want at the very least 2. And we're going to refill our our boom boom parts, which are awesome. And now, again, the Mongols, they're not going to forget about Yarikawa. They're going to attack Yarikawa, and that's what we're about to experience. Super fun time. We get introduced to siege weaponry. Oh, I love siege weapons.
Not for long, though.
Siege weapons are one of my favorite historical weapon, I think. Because you don't see it anymore. I mean, oh yeah, I love siege weapons. Trebuchets and catapults and all the different types of battering rams. Oh goodness, siege weapons are the greatest. Because there's so much more thought into those than sticky pokey stabby.
True.
Stand your ground. Every
I think you are the expert on siege weaponry here.
I just
shoot explosive arrows at the guys rushing into the gate.
I didn't say I like the siege weapons in this game because, you know, they're bad for you, but in real life. And I don't shoot explosive arrows in real life, so I have no offset comparison, so we're just going to go with that. So the idea for this is there's an attack at the main gate and then there's an attack at the north gate. If you basically concentrate your explodey arrows right as they start running in, you'll clear up that area really fast. Get over to the next part and go kaboom in here, and then just stand at the door and kill them as they start running through. If you step onto that, Ash is being very careful. If you step too far onto that bridge, you will get annihilated. They rain arrows on your head. It's quite unlovely.
Always that one dude.
Indeed.
Not running away like he should.
He is the tryhard. He's the one that will win the war. You're gonna win the war on your side. He's the guy. He's the Jin Sakai of the Mongol army. What can you do?
He died pretty fast for Jin Sakai on the Mongol side. Not gonna lie. Oops.
So, the idea for this part, and again, it's a little bit delayed, so you may have already seen it. The idea, we run through this camp because it doesn't matter if we aggro them. If you were doing this on New Game or you didn't have smoke bombs, you would have to kill all the bad guys before you can destroy these catapults. Well, once again, thanks to the magic of smoke bombs, they take you out of combat immediately. So you just run up to the triggers to destroy them, drop a smoke bomb, and we destroy both of the trebuchets.
And all these Mongols have no idea what the hell just happened, but all the siege equipment is gone.
Back to the stronghold.
Right, and then they just stand there and watch you as you look back at the keep. And they're just kind of standing there hanging out. They don't care that you're, you know, observing the fight. They're just gonna watch you. They're good. So now when you get back to the keep, there's a couple ways to do this. You can go sneaky over the top, you can jump down and roll, or you can run straight up and drop a smoke bomb. Either way you choose, as long as you don't get seen by the last enemy area, and you can get up next to the door, you're safe. That's what you want. if you have to attack these guys, it becomes quite a lengthy endeavor, and it's not really any fun. So
technically,
Tumbleweed
I wouldn't
Samurai.
need to roll here. I could just, run up to the gate, as we could just explain, drop a smoke bomb to enter this gate. However, on lethal, can be a little bit iffy with the timing on the smoke bomb, and the enemy is not killing you before you can open the gate, so I just prefer rolling here for a little bit of safety.
Yeah. Once again, switching armor. We're gonna go and we're gonna be super
duel.
strong. We're gonna fight General Temuge, who is big bad guy. Big bad guy. Look at him. He is big bad guy.
I am Jin Sakai, and I have
Not for
killed
long,
men
though.
like
Pretty-
you all across
No,
the island.
no. And I can never tell who he kills there. Does he kill the main guy, or does he just kill a random person?
I think it's just a random hunter.
You have killed men in many countries.
Kind of seems so.
here
But they never, I don't think they show you the other guy afterwards, unless they do in the story, and I just don't remember.
Actually, never looked for him again, so I couldn't even tell. That's right.
So General Temuge, he's supposed to be big, he's supposed to be bad, and he's supposed to be scary. But once again, Dance of Wrath a few times, and a couple random slicey dices, and he's done. It's game over.
Because I'm bigger, better, and scarier, right?
Look at your general.
Right, you're half his size and wearing, a quarter of the armor. But yeah, you are clearly more badassier.
No one.
So this is where you would normally learn in New Game the slaughter. If you get 7 kills in a row, or if you kill a general from hiding, you get the ghost stance. And the ghost stance allows you to go into that mode where you saw where everything was kind of red and gray, and you get 3 uninterrupted attacks that do pretty massive damage and are guaranteed one-shot kill on anybody except for mini-bosses and main bosses. So if you need to use those against a general that just won't die, that's oftentimes a way to go to it. And then your goal here is to hunt every Mongol down and kill them all, but instead, just run through the town, get to the trigger point, game over.
I mean, they're all running
and-
away anyway. Most of them, at
Yeah,
least. There are a few who
congratulations,
stick
you have
around.
saved Yarikawa.
Next up is the quest that actually triggers me the most during a New Game Plus run, because the whole point of the next quest coming up is to get Jin's family armor, the Sakai armor, which we are actually wearing right now. So, since we are playing a New Game Plus, we of course have that already.
Okay, come on.
And the blowgun. Don't forget the blowgun.
Yeah, but we have that as well.
Right.
So
This is definitely something that you should be able to skip on in some way. Like, you go up there and Yoriko says something along the lines of, "Oh, I see you've retrieved your armor. Yay!" And then that should be it. That should be it.
I mean, it's
Along
a very
this-
emotional quest. It's a very story-driven quest, but it just doesn't make any sense normally on New Game Plus.
Yeah. And she's another one that has a realistic modern day story, I guess you could say. Yoriko, I think that's how you... Is this
Yuriko,
Yoriko?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yoriko is starting to battle dementia, and she's starting to die. And she has a pretty touching story. It's very short, and I really enjoy how they ended her story. It's really good.
It just touches on you and your relationship probably to your grandparents and stuff, because you can definitely see that happen even today. Because, she's
absolutely.
this old woman. She has been taking care of Jin's home while he was away. She has taken care of Jin himself when he was younger, when his mother died and all that stuff. So they are pretty close.
Yep. And a little bit of a spoiler, she kind of takes care of Jin's daddy too, but again, spoiler. She falls in love with Lord Sakai, and you see that through her mental state deteriorating. You see her basically think that you're your father, and she starts doing all these weird things, and it's very touching. It's a really good story. But again, spoilers. So our current mod is mentioning this is where he is at in the story. So shh, no more forward talk. Close your eyes. You don't want to see this. One of the things that Ash just did as he passed by here, he doesn't beeline directly to the Sakai estate. He stops by Lord Sakai's camp. It's a little bit out of the way.
Lord Shimura's camp.
But, yeah, Lord Shimura, sorry. Thank you. Lord Shimura's camp. It is a little bit out of the way, but because you have to travel there later, it actually saves time to pick that up, go slightly out of the way, on your way to the Lord Sakai's estate, so that way you can just fast travel there later. Because that is something that is super important, is knowing the quick fast travel areas.
And, you know, it's on the way somewhat. It would definitely cost more time if we would have to get back later on. So just grab that and continue on there. It's nice.
Nice. Very nice.
So yeah, we are coming up on Omi Village, which is actually Jin's hometown, which looks pretty deserted. But there's some smoke coming up from our home. The Sakai estate, so yeah, let's see who's home. And to be honest, the serene forest surrounding Omi Village is probably one of the most beautiful looking locations in the whole game. Like with all the different colored trees and whatnot going on. And then the stark contrast with the white trees in Omi Village itself. It's a really beautiful looking place.
Artistic direction and style of this game is just amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean,
A
there's
lot
a
of this
good
game is
reason
amazing.
why the game has such an in-depth photo mode.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Which I learned how to turn off. Great thing.
He's at the cemetery.
So when you're
What?
when you're
What's he
doing
doing
different tool things, you may accidentally hit the photo mode. So I learned how to turn that off in options before you even start the game. So
Blasphemy.
yay!
Blasphemy.
I mean, you can turn it back on if you want to do pictures, but while I'm doing a speed run, I don't want to accidentally take a shot of my toe. I don't care what my boots look like.
We freed him.
Blasphemy, dude. Utter blasphemy. Turning off photo mode. Oh my god.
A few.
Out.
We're gonna have to make that a new speed run,
Out. Out.
a new speed run category without photo mode and with photo mode.
It's a requirement. You
It'll
have to
have-
take at least one screenshot now.
Right? They'll have literally the exact same times, except one of us will have to accidentally
Score.
trigger photo mode once. Okay, he's got photo mode. We're good.
Does he
Run
still
is
act
valid.
like he's the only one who knows how to do things?
Half the time.
Yeah, if you don't take a picture of your foot while trying to shoot somebody in the face with an arrow, the run clearly was not meant to be.
Yeah.
Lord Sakai,
Oh my god. Imagine if we actually put that into the rules. That would be hilarious.
I think that the former top mod would probably lose her mind with that. Are you kidding me? With the things I'm trying to implement and the actual logical stuff, you guys want to put in a stupid photo mode requirement?
Yep. We do.
Yes, we do.
It's a thing
It's
now.
for the memes. This has become a meme run now. The memes.
I mean, what
So-
isn't for the memes nowadays, to be honest?
That's true. It's true.
If it's not for the memes,
I mean,
what are you doing with your life?
I have had created for me a tumbleweed samurai emote specifically because of the memes. You gotta meme it. You got to.
I mourn my
You got to.
True.
Run invalid. Speaking of the photo mode,
We used to meditate.
if you join our Discord, the Speedruns Discord for Ghost of Tsushima, we actually have a specific area to post your favorite photos. We like seeing them. I love seeing them. And I personally wanted to see a picture on the speedrun background rather than the plain black. And so after discussing it with Ash, we decided to open up a contest and we let the community submit their own photos and pick
There were some
or
great
let
screenshots in there. Like,
oh
holy
yeah,
hell.
absolutely. And then the community voted on them, so nothing was ever just picked. And the winning one got to be the background for the speedruns, which I think is really cool because we kept the community involved at every step. And now that image was an image that was created by one of the community, and it is an impressive image.
It's really great looking. I really like it.
So now that we have paid our respects to our father, written our haiku, now we get the armor. And so we take off the Sakai armor, and then we put on the Sakai armor. So that way we're dressed in Sakai armor for this fight. And you can do a standoff here if you'd like. Quick little smoke bomb, triple assassination, or double and another finish here. It's easy. It's much faster than trying to do the standoff. But if you don't get them together,
Make it stronger.
Ronin are
Enough to kill a man.
the second worst enemy in the game, with doggos being the first.
Yeah, the Ronin are really tanky. Like, holy crap. I think they even
Well, and
have
they're
more
super-
HP than any of the brutes.
But not only that, but they're super dodgy too. They're really quick. They deflect more of your shots than anybody else.
Yes.
They are a pain in the neck. They are terrible. I hate them. I hate them very much.
Yep. But we don't have to face them for long, so it's all good. All
No. It's all Ryuzo's fault. He has betrayed us. He's betrayed the island.
Trade
He needs
Tsushima.
to yes. He needs to be finished off.
We'll get to that.
So are you doing the technique that Charles told you about with the arrow?
I screwed it up the last few times, so let's see here.
Not an easy one to go with.
I actually hit him.
Hey, so the idea for this, there used to be the way that we came in here, we'd sneak around these guys. But instead of doing that now, Charles came up with the idea you snipe that guy with the flaming arrow and you can just ride straight up. It actually saves significantly a large amount of time, even though you saw him stop, because you only get off the horse to get the reeds, and so there's no running back and forth. It's much faster. So what we're doing right now is we are collecting bamboo reeds. And the reason for that is because Yuriko made mention that she used to make poison, or she makes poison to keep rice safe from, rats and stuff like that. And so Jen was like, hey, can you make it strong enough to kill a person? And she's like, nobody should suffer like that. And he says, well, yeah, but they're Mongols, so who cares? That's Jen's opinion, not mine. So he convinces her because he is her lord after all. So she says, fine, you get me the poisons, and how are you going to distribute it? And he says, well, a blowgun. So now you get the blowgun and you get the poison, and shame on you for being that disgraceful.
And this is actually the quest after which we would trigger the flashback between Jin and his uncle if you were to use the blow dart still. So after this quest, we are not going to use it anymore.
It's nice to ride with you again.
You and Lord
Because,
Shima
it would
taught me to
take
ride.
us, I think it's a 20-second cutscene or something if
run
you use the
pony.
blow dart afterwards. It's only once, but we don't actually need it anymore anyway, so it becomes useless to us. And to the speedrunners.
Right. Yeah, this is the mission that we were talking about earlier, that until you do this mission, blowgunning is free. Yay!
Yeah.
But after this one, no goes. No goes. And there really isn't anything to use these on though. I have yet to try it out. I've not done a New Game Plus full run since we had the idea. I want to try it on the con and see if it works.
The blow gun?
Yeah, on the ship.
I don't think it does.
Not during the duel on the ship.
He's pretty much immune to basically everything in that
I
fight.
know the story.
But I
My uncle's
wonder
black eye took
if
weeks
you
to
could
heal.
use the hallucinogen darts on the brutes.
I think you could. At least I don't see a reason
Probably.
why you couldn't.
But it'd be
Do that.
it'd be slower
My
though.
father's laugh.
Probably.
It'd be slower. Just a thought.
I mean, it could get a load off your back, but you would still have to watch the cutscene. So
That's true. So who wants that? Nobody wants cutscenes. Ain't nobody got time for
Uncle's a
cutscenes.
nice
We gotta
big
go super
campfire.
fast.
You sleep out here?
Only when I spend the day foraging for plants. I'll look for the flowers we need.
So now we gotta pick up these purple flowers, which have the poison seeds.
I'm not a child.
So you can make a poison.
I know. Remember how we gather flowers for
Even though you've already got
Arrange them
poison
in a little
darts.
alcove at home.
That should be enough.
Silly. Silly!
To me, young man.
That's why he gets triggered with this one.
Yep.
Good.
Now, legends have it that if you go counterclockwise, you're doing it correctly.
This poison
If you go
works.
clockwise, you're doing it incorrectly. So I think that was clockwise. So I'm sorry, you did it backwards, sir. You did it backwards.
Where is that legend coming from? It's the first time
I just came up with it because you do it the opposite way that I do, and so I have to make it sound like mine's better. It really doesn't matter which order you pick those flowers up in, but there is discussion as to which way it's supposed to be.
I mean,
One of
from
the
way
original
from the way
winners
that
of
I come, I face Yuriko head on, so I can immediately talk to her, so I don't have to go around her.
one of the original runners of this game tried to kind of write a guide, and not tried to. I mean, he put a lot of hours into this game, lots and lots of hours, over 100 runs of Act 1 before New Game Plus even existed. So that's 3 hours each. He put a lot of time into this game. And so when Ash would do something that was not normal, he would yell at him for being off the script.
And I would do that all the time. Like, literally.
So now that we've gotten the ghost armor, now we need to go and recruit said pirate that we talked about way long ago. So we can get our message over to the Shogun. The idea is because this pirate is super water savvy, that he'll be able to get past the Mongol blockades and deliver the message to the Shogun that, hey, the Mongols have invaded. Can you send some people, please? That would be very helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, because what you have to keep in mind is that the whole island of Tsushima is surrounded by Mongol ships. So you can't actually, you know, just send a ship on your own out there and try to contact the mainland and actually tell them what the hell is going on this island because of all that blockade.
Yeah, because they can't see it, clearly.
Yeah.
But, you know,
They've
we
not
need
had
help
any fishing
because
boats
all the
interrupted.
samurai are dead, except for Jin and his uncle. So we need reinforcements if we are to win.
Do. They need to be samurai reinforcements because they are the most impressive battlers. Battlers? Is that a word?
I
gonna go
think
with
you can make it
battlers.
work. I think you can make it work.
So we're off to Umugi Cove. Umugi Cove is nestled kind of secretly in this foresty, cliffsidey sort of area, and unless you know where to look, you could very easily overlook Umugi Cove. There is no direct go here marker like there are on every other mission. It leads you to the Umugi Cove area, and then it says, find the entrance to Umugi Cove. Combatants? No. No, that's just too easy of a word. Battlers. Makes more sense.
It's in the name, right? Battlers. They do battle.
Exactly. They are the ones that battle. They are
Yeah.
battlers.
I mean, what even is combat? Like, what? What the hell?
Right. I don't
It's not-
combat. I battle.
It's not even
Jeez.
written with a K. God damn it.
Right. Yeah. I don't understand combat if it's not with a K. Mm-mm. Speaking
And if it is not
of,
Mortal.
no, I don't think we need to get into the Mortal Kombat conversation.
Oh man,
But OMG.
I am so looking forward to
OMG.
that new movie coming out. Like, really, I am.
OMG. Anyways, back to Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, this
What?
kind of does look like Scorpion's Forest, so why not? Why not?
I just don't see
It's
a
a
guy
decent
running
time for-
around with a rope coming out of his hand, you know, telling people to come over here.
He could be. He could be.
It's a good cameo character.
There you go. Who was that? So now that we've made it to Umugi Cove, we just basically got to get in there. But before we can actually do anything at Umugi Cove, we have to speak with the lady. And the lady gives us some extra side missions and things that we can do as well. But again,
Not
we're
gonna
not
do it.
recruiting her, so we don't want to.
No.
All
can't do
these
it.
all these people want to be Jin's friend, and we're just like, no, we ain't got time to be your friend.
Welcome
Got enough
to
friends.
Umugi Cove.
I've got bombs.
Right?
They are friends enough. They kill
The
people
Mongols haven't found.
way more efficiently than any of you.
Come see me again sometime. I think we can help each other.
Why do you need friends if you have bombs? Right?
Right? Ash 2021. Who needs friends when you have bombs?
You must be Goro.
Oh god.
I don't know if you could put that on a t-shirt and not enter some sort of list, but I mean, maybe that should be on a t-shirt.
That's why I was drinking.
I think it's a great
Celebrate
slogan.
your escape.
There you go.
The samurai. Those warriors.
Speedrunners don't need friends, they gotta go fast. Yes, friends slow you down. Terrible. Shame on
They
them.
swore to defend everyone on
We don't need friends. We don't need love interests. We need go fast and boom boom. That's all we need.
I can repay their sacrifice.
That's the speedrunner's
My
creed.
master wouldn't ask for your help
Right
if
there.
he expected you to fail.
So this is our pirate. This is Goro. See, so clearly it is Mortal Kombat. See, everything kind of loops around. You guys thought we were totally off and just left field? No.
Do you have Lord
That's Goro.
Shima's message?
He has it. At his
Oh
command,
right,
Lord
yeah,
Tsushima
but he
calls
only
it.
has 2 arms here.
Right. Well, this is before he got mutated in the Outworld.
Ah, I see. Makes sense. Didn't know Goro was a pirate.
He can be anything you want him to be. He's a fictional character, Ash. Come on now. Bring it around. Bring it around. I'm trying to tie it all together, okay?
Doing a good job of it. Doing a good job of it. I am impressed with your storytelling skills.
So, I like Goro's story. Goro's like, hey, so what's the message? And you say, well, Lord Shimura's got it. And he's over at a camp over here. And Goro goes, oh, cool. I happen to have a boat there. So,
of course he does.
meet me here. And it's like all the places you could be. That's the one. And of course, it happens to be next to a fort. Because if you're going to stash a boat, why not stash it next to a heavily guarded fort? Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's well guarded, isn't it? Keeps bandits away. It's near a fort.
True. Nobody's going to steal your boat if they're afraid the Mongols are just going to destroy you.
Yeah.
So we travel back to Akashima village.
Which we
I
got
didn't
the
talk
fast
about it.
travel point for way
Yeah.
at the start of Act 2.
That's what I was going to say. We didn't talk about it, but when you do the first ride to Yarikawa, you kind of, again, take a little side path to trigger that Akashima village, so that way you can fast travel.
Yeah, we had
for
our
this
talk
mission
about
specifically.
Norio back then, so
Yeah, that was far more important.
yeah.
Far more important.
No, he's such.
So now we're off to talk to Lord Shimura, and if you do this mission after you get the armor, he tells you how great the armor looks on you if you're wearing it. But if you don't have the armor yet, it skips that dialogue. So extra little bit of dialogue. But that's okay, because we're not wearing the armor, so it's fine.
Not that the armor is bad, it's just that we rather wear the ghost armor. Because we're the ghost. I mean, it's the ghost of Tsushima, right?
How you met Goro?
That's right. It's not the heavily armored samurai of Tsushima.
I burned his stock.
I mean, to be honest, I was so glad when we found a way to wear the ghost armor during a speedrun, because in the new game run of the game you would mostly wear the Sakai armor, because you would have to do a lot more sword fighting battles.
The Mongols have many ships.
But
Yeah,
since we are
because we didn't
mostly
realize the
using-
power of terror.
We have no choice. What will we do if
Damn.
they catch us?
It's been great. It really has been. And it's got actually one of the best color schemes. I will take the time to switch it over to white every once in a while just so it looks good. I noticed you haven't. I mean, that's okay.
I mean, I would.
For photo mode purposes,
I would, but the problem is that whenever you start a new game plus, all your armor dies get reset to their initial values, so to speak. So you would have to go and switch out your armor dies every time you do a new run. And
I mean, 2 clicks is a lot to ask for, but
It's a
you're right.
time
Gotta go
box.
fast.
It's a
We don't
time
have
box.
time for fashion. This isn't Fashion Souls here. This is
Fashion Ghosts.
Fashion Coast. There we go.
I mean, if they would just make it so that the die saves, you know, I would be totally for it. But it doesn't.
To be completely honest, I am guilty of setting up the headpiece and the mask ahead of time, specifically because I wanted to look a certain way. Because those carry over, the headpiece and the mask carry
Yeah,
over.
they do. They do.
So I do. I like to set up my headpiece and mask to look a certain way, just for fun, just for funsies. Because why not?
Exactly.
I go a little Fashion Souls in this. So we are attacking Fort Midodake, which is again being occupied by Mongols. Lord Shimura says, well, we need to face them head on. We can't just be sneaky. So, you know, go fight them with honor. And we are, kind of. We're throwing bombs at them. We have to be careful at this part here not to kill the guys up at the gate with an explosion or with fire. Because if you kill those guys closing the gate, it will actually bug the game out and you'll have to do this fight again. If you try to open the door too soon, it will bug the game out and you will have to reload checkpoint and do the fight again.
As shown.
I didn't know that you did that, but based on your sigh, I knew what you did. It's fantastic. There's a couple little glitches in here that if you don't do it right, it will cause some issues. At least you didn't have to fight. They're all here. Look at him, and look at that armor with those giant horns. He's got some nice horns on his armor.
There we go.
See how the enemy fear you.
Again, not necessarily here to show you all the right ways, merely trying to point out the wrong ways so you don't do this in your own playthrough.
Exactly. You know, we're just basically telling you the speedrun. What can go wrong? How you can do it better.
Take cover.
I mean, PB's already crashed thanks to tech issues, so we might as well show off all the errors. Any way that you can break the game, let's do it. No, I don't think mods would be too happy with that. Organizers, what do you think? We break the game and go over by an hour? I think it'd be fine. So this is another part where, again, you are a great samurai. You were supposed to fight your way through this fort, but again, he really has time for that. We just run.
He just set his friend on fire. I love that. He clearly didn't get the Dosho notice.
Show! Well, never mind. He got the Dosho notice. I just watched it. He ducked down. He literally just shot him in the back. That was messed up. That's one of those ones where you go into battle with somebody you don't like. It's like, oh man, friendly fire. My bad. He ran right in front of me.
I finally have an opportunity to get rid of that dude.
Right?
He ate my soup. Nobody ate in my soup.
He yelled Dasha. I mean, he told him to get down, and clearly he
also,
didn't.
dogs are the worst enemies in this whole game. Like, you know, I love dogs. I have 2 dogs of my own. But these little Mongolian ankle biters can go straight to hell for all I care. Yeah, burn you, mother.
It is semi-gratifying when they get caught up in the
loving it.
In the huachas, because you get to hear them whine. I love it.
And burn.
So the dogs are the worst enemy in the game, just based off of the fact that they basically have an unavoidable attack, and once they lunge at you, you're screwed. And they bite onto you and they grab you for about 3 to 4 seconds, and it's unavoidable to be able to do anything else. And so if there's anyone else around, you're getting hit with things. I mean, he made it through the dogs and then got killed up on top of the platform, so it wasn't the dog's fault. But
normally
whatever.
that second archer flees when you kill the other, but for whatever reason that guy was like, nope, I'm gonna stay and fight.
So this is another example of you are adapting to survive and your uncle doesn't like it. The huacha is a weapon of the enemy, and uncle really does not like that you are using it. But you're like, we have to get Goro through here. We have to. So I'm going to use it. You can just defend me. And so he does. Lord Shimura goes down and defends you, so he's not being the bad guy. But he really is quite displeased at you using a weapon of the enemy. Fear is a weapon of the enemy. We don't use that. Yada, yada, yada. Listen, guy. Survive. That's what you got to do. I'm no samurai expert, but I did watch a samurai expert talk about that aspect of this game, and he's like, no, it's war. You survive. That's what you do.
Yep.
So Ash knows where the boats are going to be spawning from, so he's just going to kind of prep it up, get everything set up so he can kill them ahead of time. Hopefully, maybe not. Apparently.
I missed one somehow. Hello.
We did it.
Gonna be okay. Not by an entire hour. What about 55 minutes then?
All right, 59.30. That's my best offer. So, we did it. Hooray. One of the big points to take away from here, one of the big points, is after you do all this, Uncle becomes super like, I have a good message for you. I have sent with my request to the Shogun a legal decree to adopt you. And so basically he wants to officially make you his son, which has a lot of implications. It has a lot of emotion. It has a lot of a lot for this game, and it will play a big part in the reason why you becoming the ghost is a very hard choice. And it's such a story. Oh my goodness.
But we get none of that because we skip all the cutscenes.
And does skip all the cutscenes. What's going on? I don't know. Who's the main bad guy? That ship. I don't know.
I mean, we've never seen him so far, right? Like, who?
We haven't. He's Baba Yaga, and I don't mean the true Baba Yaga. I mean the John Wick Baba Yaga because, you know, I just wanted to say that you don't see him. He's the boogeyman.
I mean, he's a big Baba, definitely.
Coming for you, Ryuzo.
So, once we get back to Lord Shimura's camp, the Khan has a plan with Ryuzo's help that instead of trying to kill Jin, they're going to lure Jin into a base. This base here. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but things happen. So spoiler alerts.
It's pretty
this
clear
is very
that just
important.
trying to kill off Jin just doesn't work. You know, we've been cutting through so many Mongols and other people already that they are just like, nope, we cannot defeat him.
Yeah, even Jin or even Ryuzo's like, my best men are no match for him. We can't kill him. And so what if we don't kill him? Is what he says during the cutscenes. What if we don't kill him? And then all of a sudden you get this notification of where he's at. So of course you've got to ride off to fight him because why not? That's what you got to do. And look at how bright and sunny it is. That's beautiful.
Mongols.
And then it's nice.
The weather in this can change periodically, as you saw. It's quite lovely. It's not necessarily story driven, except for when it has to be. Anytime between the stories, it can be whatever weather it wants to be, which is pretty cool. So big old camp of Mongols, and here is Taka. Why is Taka here? He's not a fighter. Yeah. He wants to help. And so he calls the Mongols dogs.
We don't care though. We just waltz right in through the front gate of the fort here.
Look at that. Look at all those guys. It's fine. We're important. We go full Karen on this one. We don't want to work with the peons. We want to speak directly to the manager. And so that's where we're going.
It's actually true.
I just came up with that. I think it's very fitting.
It is.
Another use of the smoke bomb takes us out of combat. We open up the door. This triggers the next scene where Ryuzo's standing there. You have this little back and forth, and somebody sneaks up behind you and knocks you out, captures you and Taka.
And the nice thing about this scene is, if you listen closely, you can hear all the Mongols still yelling at us because technically they are still in this fort because we didn't kill them. And so, yeah, enjoy this little audio glitch going on for the next few minutes.
Yeah, it lasts for way too long. So if you have a heart, if you have feels, look away. This part is very sad. Very sad. If you look on the ground, Taka is in two pieces now. Sadness. Oh well, we gotta keep going. So basically what happens here, the Khan comes out and he's like, hey, so I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your friends. And you're gonna have to stop fighting me or all of your friends are going to die. And he starts with Taka. And Taka, he gives Taka the sword and he says, Taka, if you kill Jin, I will let you go free. Taka tries to be brave or stupid, one or the other, and turns against the Khan and obviously quick defeated. And the Khan just lobs his head off. And then he lifts it up and he holds it against you and says, your friend died for you.
Ah, god damn it. I fell for the trap.
Did you do an air assassination?
Yes, I did.
Oh, shame on you.
This is why
so
we don't do
basically he
air
tells you that your friend died for you because you can't choose. So now he's going to get you another friend and let you choose again. So that's how he wants to defeat you. He's going to basically kill everybody in front of you and blame it on you because you're a terrible person.
Couldn't resist doing it.
That was a sinful move.
It was too juicy, you know.
But now you can do it. You can do it in the other fort, the cold weather fort, whatever that's called.
I could do that if I remember.
He wasn't supposed to be here. Why didn't he?
That prompt is just so juicy. You know, you just want to do this assassination when it comes up because it's so nice and it's actually
Tempting.
quick. But then, you know, there's all this cutscene stuff and it's not fast anymore. It's just dumb. And you feel bad.
Dumb.
Oh well.
So Yuna lets out her biggest of no's. She's very sad her brother died. I mean, it makes sense. Her brother died. Again, just another big battle. This one, unfortunately, based on how the Mongols attack, you want to spread out your bombing. You can't just blow them all up at once. Hitting explosive barrels, throwing the booms, and then going to the gate and trying to finish them off. You can get all of them. You can sometimes they don't run away. This is another RNG fight, unfortunately. Sort of understandable. No way. No way. So Chad thinks it's understandable that that she's sad that her brother died. Relatable. We can all understand. I had a cat die once. Pretty broken up.
Yeah, but I don't think your cat was beheaded.
Listen, you don't know my life, sir. Okay. All right, so we're sad. The horse knows we're sad. He gives us a little nudge, which is super cute. There's a lot of emotion in this game, even for the horse. I love it. This game is so great. So back to the Lord Shimura's camp. Lord Shiro's camp.
Samurai are here.
What the heck am I saying? Which one is it? Lord Shimura. Thank you. Who is Lord Shiro?
I have no idea, dude.
I don't know who Lord Shiro is. Back to Lord Shimura's camp. Now we are ready. New character. New canon.
Yeah.
There you go. DLCs. Now we get to actually go get everything ready for the main end of Act 2 big fight. There's still more to come after the big fight, but this is the big fight for Act 2. This is the battle of your army versus their army.
Because at the end of Act 1, if you remember, we rescued our uncle, Lord Shimura, and then at the end of Act 2, we basically rescue his castle. Because it is the main Mongol stronghold on the island at the moment, and we want to take it back.
Mongol stronghold. Say that 5 times fast.
Mongol stronghold, Mongol stronghold, Mongol stronghold, Mongol stronghold, Mongol stronghold.
Alright, so it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Man. So, we are being escorted up to talk to our uncle by other samurai. Yeah, and he's basically kind of like, hey, good for you for recruiting the Yarikawa people, but we need to put these ghost stories to bed. No more of that, please. No more of that. And we're like, but politics can wait. We still have to clear the island, so chill out, bro. Chill out. Don't come over here and start preaching to me. You come from the mainland where you've not been fighting. You come over here to Tsushima where I have been in the trenches, blood all the way up to my neck, and you're going to tell me I can't do the ghost thing? You just sit down for a minute while I fight this, and then we'll talk about it later.
I mean,
that's just my opinion of how it goes.
That in a little more tempered manner, you know, but it's basically the same.
Basically the same. I want to go like the genie in Aladdin. Did you look at me? Did you rub my lamp? Did you wake me up? That's like... Yeah. You see how we've already got a third of this island conquered or taken back? I did that. Sit down with your no-ghost bullcrap. So once again, big fight. What do we do in big fights? We burn people. We blow them up. That's what we do. So this is the same kind of idea for everything else. Try to terrorize everybody, blow them up. Yay. This one is not as RNG, believe it or not, for as big and open as this area is. There's not really a whole lot of spawn points, and there's not a lot of enemy movement. They're all pretty nicely clustered up. So even though this is probably the biggest battlefield we fight on during the game, it's probably the most controlled out of all the big fights.
Everyone to the gates! Push through! Bring forward the battering ram!
And look, there's Norio. I don't know why he's here. We never talked to him, but there he is.
He's just helping out. He's a friendly dude.
Forward! Show the Mongols we will not be denied.
So Norio, we never really talked about who he is. Norio is what's called a warrior monk. And his brother was the Guardian, basically the greatest warrior monk on the island. And Norio's story is basically revenge for his brother's death. Or at least that's... What killed you?
They double killed me. First they hit me with a arrow, and then they just blasted me off.
Move to higher ground. Clear the way ahead.
Absolute bastards.
So Norio's story,
Is again sad.
if I may spoiler for you,
Strike them down.
it's almost the same as Jin's story in a way. And there has been a discussion on one of the other runs where it's like Norio basically goes the same route that Jin goes, except he stops it before he goes too far. Jin gets consumed by the ghost. Jin becomes the ghost, and that's who he is. Norio, on the other hand, he reaches a point, he does a thing, and he's like, that's not me. That's not what I'm about. I'm gonna go pray somewhere. And so it's also a very, very good story.
I hate these archers sometimes.
Archers are bad. So Ash and I did a race against this, and I beat him in the race. And the reason why I beat him in the race was twofold. One, because he was playing on lethal and I was playing on easy. But two, because I had older, crummier hardware. My runs just could never catch up to him. Also, I'm a terrible runner. So in order to kind of offset it, every time he got hit, he would do 5 push-ups for every hit. He got a lot of push-ups in during this part.
Yep, I think it was about 100 or so.
I giggled. I thought it was funny. I won by default because I was about 20 minutes ahead of him by the time this got through, just because
I mean,
he had
but you also gotta remember,
spots.
I also had to do the whole 6 plates of Kojo quest as well.
Yes, I'm not talking about that. I beat you. That's all that I want. That's the narrative that I tell. You tell the story when you're the commentator, okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah, he had a good workout, but we never saw it because he decided he wanted to meme the heck out of everybody. So instead of, he had it originally noted that he was going to have a camera for showing his push-ups, but instead of that, he actually changed it up. Literally last second, didn't tell anybody. And the first couple times we saw it, we thought that he hit a wrong scene or something. And we're like, did you realize that? And afterwards, like, yeah, I knew what I was doing. I set that up. He had a lot of videos of him playing with his dog and other random stuff. Super cute.
You know, I just thought it would be pretty boring to just watch me do push-ups like or whatever. So I can't
I don't
prepare.
think he actually did them. I don't think he actually did them. I think that he switched over to that because he knew he couldn't do the push-ups.
What is wrong with these models? They're all so spread out. Jesus Christ. Look at that.
They're not afraid of you right now.
We'll
They're
die.
afraid of you.
You're the only reason we've made
Your look at that for me is like, I don't know, 20 seconds ahead of me actually seeing it. So GG's, I guess. I didn't hear you sigh after death, so clearly you survived.
Yeah, trying hard though. Not gonna lie.
So once we get through this part is, again, it's the main assault on what should be the end of the battle versus the Mongols. Lord Chimera has in mind that if we can take back Castle Chimera, then we will defeat the Mongols. And so that is our goal, that is our plan. And unfortunately, Lord Chimera is blinded by honor and one mission only of win. So he kind of leads his people into a very bad situation. Yeah. And this becomes basically the main point. Once again,
Yeah, you can kind of see it here with the bridge blowing up with a lot of our forces on it.
The Mongols.
And yeah, this is basically the fallout between Jin and his uncle.
oh goodness, I was muted. I muted myself when I was trying to say spoilers. Good stuff.
How very kind of you. Yeah.
Right? I just wanted you to talk. I've been doing enough.
You
What
have.
happened there? Basically, all of the Mongols retreated across the bridge. Lord Chimera was like kill, and sent his forces across the bridge. The Mongols backed up, they locked the gates, and so now your people are not trapped, but they don't really have anywhere else to go because they can't go forward. They then pack up a bunch of carts led by horses with explosives, cover them in kerosene, light them on fire, and send them across the bridge, and then blow them up. So basically your entire... It worked. So your entire half or 3/4 of your forces get wiped out. And Jin is like, they died because you couldn't see that it was a trap and you are too led by honor and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so Jin has a fallout with his uncle because he's like, they died because of you. Their blood is on your hands. And he's like, they died for Tsushima. It's fine. Whatever. Like, didn't care. Didn't care.
And that doesn't sit right with Jin. Not at all.
Nope. So Yuna basically tells Jin, hey, we've got to do something or else all these people are going to die and we're not going to achieve our goal. Lord Shimura is waiting until morning to attack again. He's got people trying to fix the gate under heavy fire, which is not the best thing to do, but I mean, it's happening. So instead you decide I'm going to cross the bridge and I'm going to poison everybody because poison is good.
Yeah, we got
so
that
we
from
sneak
Yuriko.
in. Yeah, we're great. So poison is good. We're amazing. We sneak into the Mongol camp and now we have to find where we're going to poison. We determined that we are going to poison the Arig. I want to make Arig one day. I really do. It's fermented milk and I make mead. I'm not going to say I'm going to enjoy it, but I would like to make it sometime.
Definitely tastes interesting, I guess.
Gotta try it. So we decide we're gonna poison the mead, the Arig. The fastest way to get it in there is to go through the garden path. That's what we're doing. Don't poison the mead. I drink enough of that. I don't need that poisoned. No, thank you.
But maybe you can build up a tolerance to it, you know, by drinking all the poison mead.
Now to reach their feast.
Listen, which cup is poisoned? You choose, and we both drink. Okay.
Depends on the poison, I guess.
It's iocane. I'd bet my life on it.
Oh, jeez. Maybe not.
That's where they store the milk.
So there's a couple ways that you can go about this. You're supposed to sneak. Sneaky, right? Nope. Tumbleweed Samurai plays his best part. You want to not engage these enemies at all. You roll right up to the bags of fermented milk. If you're seen, you can just throw a smoke bomb and you're good. Everything's fine. If you're not seen, you get through it without a problem. So you poison both bags of Arig, which apparently is enough to wipe out...
Kill an enemy. Army.
Yeah, wipe out the camp. And so this part is kind of fun. You get to watch the Mongols choke. Again, Jin's opinion, not mine. And then once again, we face our friend.
Buddy!
Again.
Group hugs.
Again.
We're reunited. We love each other so much.
He is a good guy. So the idea for this part here is Ryuzo screwed up. He screwed up big time, and you didn't see it, but after the end of Act 1, Ryuzo can be seen with the Khan at the gates of Castle Shimura. And they're demanding that they open the gates. And the Khan basically tells Ryuzo that he's got to earn what was promised to him, which is food for his men. That's why he's doing it. And so Ryuzo burns his people alive. And in my opinion, that's the you can't go back from that.
I mean, you know, he was so hungry, he started roasting people.
There you go. Cannibalism is okay. It worked for the Donner Party. It can work for the samurai. So basically, when you get to this part, he stays behind to collect your head per the Khan, and he tries to tell you, hey, instead of killing me, why don't you tell them that I was your mole, that I was trying to gain the Khan's trust, and I was your inside man? And you're like, well, not going to happen. You need to surrender and answer for your crimes. He's like, well, we fighting then, because it worked out so well for him the first time.
You kill him. For good this time.
You kill him.
And Ryuzo
Yeah,
is
he
gone.
dead.
But more importantly, after that, well, your uncle comes in and sees what you have done with the Mongols. You know, all this poisoning stuff and terror and whatnot, and he's not too happy with that. So the both of you have well, basically a fallout, total breakup. And
Total
he
breakup. The bromance is
takes
over.
You, yeah, he takes you prisoner, and that is why we now have to escape the samurai.
He does. He tries to get you to turn on Yuna. He says, tell them that Yuna corrupted you, that this was all her doing. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I am the ghost. I have done this. And he's like, you are my son. And he says,
I'm not your son.
I am not your son. And then he burns the adoption papers. And he's sad. He's very sad. And then you're imprisoned. And you're sad. You wanted to actually stay in prison because you're setting an example for your people that you need to answer for what you've done. But then Kenji comes in and he's like, so Yuna is tracking the Khan and he's going to get away if you don't do something. So you decide, all right, fine, I'm going to break out because if not, you're just going to be shipped back to the mainland and get killed anyway. So there you go. Once again, sad times to be had here. Your best friend in the whole wide world, the horse that you've known for all of this whole game, he takes a couple arrows to the butt.
Yep, and dies.
So don't get too attached to your horse. Don't get too attached to your horse because he ain't gonna last. He ain't gonna last. And it truly is sad when you play this game for, like me, I was well over 40 plus hours when I got to this point. I was attached to my horse. This hit me harder than Taka. I was like, Taka, whatever. I mean, horse, no!
That cutscene of the horse slowly dying is just really heartbreaking. And, you know, the fact that in the beginning we didn't have New Game Plus. We had only the New Game speedrun. And you have to watch all the cutscenes. So you had to watch the scene of the horse dying every time you speedrun the game.
My heart hurt so much. So, this is another sneaky section where you're supposed to avoid Mongol detection because you have no weapons, no armor. But
we just have mud on our body.
You have mud. I am a tumbleweed. You do not see me. I am nothing. So tumbleweed samurai your way right through. Get to the giant tree that is just freaking massive and on fire. And you're looking for Yuna because she's supposed to be here.
She's not here.
And you could explain what happens next because I don't want to explain it in the delay.
Well, you know, we look at all these people, and then we get poisoned ourselves by a poison arrow, and we are literally vomiting blood at the moment. Doesn't stop us from just, you know, rolling around though. We could still do that. I don't know, no big deal.
Yeah.
Vomiting blood, rolling around, doesn't stop us.
I can lose them in the storm.
I mean, and look at where he gets shot too. I think that's a liver or a kidney. It's probably a kidney. That's gotta hurt.
Not a good place, definitely. Not a good place.
No.
You don't want to get shot there. I mean, you don't want to get shot at all, but especially not there.
So
Hurts.
You've came to the realization that the Mongols have figured out your poison, or at least the ingredient for it, not necessarily the doses. I don't kind of understand how it is that arrow doesn't kill you. Again, plot armor is a beautiful piece of armor.
I mean, you've actually raised a pretty good point that the Mongols are still trying out the poison and they don't know the dosage yet, so I guess that would make sense why you're not dying from it. Because
I guess it would, but
maybe the dosage wasn't right and it was too small to kill a man because they're still figuring stuff out. I mean, that would make sense.
I think I found a better hideout.
So somehow, after you fight Ryuzo and you give Yuna your sword, that's all you hand her is your sword, and you say run, or else they're going to capture you. Somehow she still manages to obtain all of your armor, all of your weapons, all of your tools, everything that you had before you got captured. She managed to store neatly in a nice little box just waiting for you. Thank you, Yuna.
Also, what you probably have to mention is that the point in time between killing Ryuzo and us escaping is like weeks. So a lot of time has passed actually in game.
Maybe she snuck in a lot. She snuck in a whole lot.
Or just Kenji took it piece by piece out of the castle.
Right? Just one little piece at a time in his sake cart. Yeah. So you get on a new horse. Yay, new horse. This isn't your permanent horse. This is just a temporary horse. Don't get attached to this one. He is ugly. Look at him. He's just a dumb horse. Just a dumb horse. It's really kind of sad that your horse dies. Because for New Game Plus, you actually get new horse, and some really nice riding gear. But then he dies. So they're like, well, no, you don't get that horse anymore. So it's like, but he had the beautiful black mane with the red tips. He was
It's an awesome
beautiful.
looking horse.
son. I
Was.
destroyed his
But
dream.
now it's gone.
Doing the right thing.
Forever.
Being right doesn't always
Forever.
Or until the next speedrun,
Tell
whatever it
that
is.
to the people you saved.
Also,
Magically
interesting fact, the
resurrected.
sun is slowly starting to
killed
come
the
up
Khan
because, as you can
and
see
drive the
outside the
Mongols
window,
out.
things are
I
lighting up
can.
there.
Is there a chance your uncle will
It's
forgive
pretty
you?
nice. That's
When I
not
was
gone
young,
unnoticed with that.
Old Shimura became my
There's a
father.
house behind
Sensei.
you, or
My
slightly
Yeah,
off
there's
to your
another
left.
house there. Yeah, exactly.
I never wanted to disappoint
You don't live all by yourself in a
Not to hope
secluded
you
woods
No.
somewhere.
No.
Whatever happens.
I think I've only ever seen you play in the dark. I did not realize that was a window. I thought it was just a really crummy
I made my own
mirror.
choices. Even knowing what they've
No, it
cost
is
me,
a window.
I'd
I
make
mean,
them
why
again.
would I have a mirror like right
Even
next
if
to
the
my
Shogun
face?
brands me as a traitor.
I'm not
Listen,
that
vanity
vain.
is a crazy thing, okay?
Yeah, but I'm not that Wayne. Not yet.
I'm
Anyways.
not judging you. You live your life. Just don't worry about it, all right? By the way, this is Act
Sure.
3.
Jogoku Temple.
We didn't get into that. This is Act 3, which is by far the shortest act of all.
Yes.
As you can tell, the estimate is 3 hours and 30 minutes. We're not going to come anywhere near that. And we're already at 2:45, so
And the
it's
Mongols.
not a very long act when you consider the first act is nearly an hour and a half. This one is like 45 minutes. It's quick
Yeah, I'm close
because
to
this
40,
is
but
very
yeah.
straightforward.
Yeah, we have about 40 minutes left in this game.
Well, listen, you run at your pace, I run at my pace, okay? You calm it down. I still haven't passed you. I am world record holder on New Game Plus Easy Act 1, so I'm going to hold that one for you. But now you're in territories that I can't touch on, so we're good. We're good.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I do have one record, the only one. Ash holds records on so many categories. When we were still a small community, he literally had it for every category. I've got one now, so there's that. And until when I first started running this game, I was like one of 2 easy runners, and I had a really good time. And I knew that his time was a lot better than mine. So I said in a couple of my runs, I really hope that the lethal runners don't come down to easy because then I'm screwed. And then they came down to easy and I got screwed and I wasn't record holder anymore. And it made me sad.
They left explosives on the ice.
And then he comes up and he's like, oh, by the way, I got accepted into a marathon with this run. Do you want to commentate? I'm like, yeah, just rub the salt right up in there. That's fine. Whatever.
Signal cannon.
I mean, you're
What?
still here commentating.
Divide and conquer.
I'm a glutton for punishment. What can I say?
I see. I see. So it's not friendship. It's,
So-
it's just punishment.
Yeah, pretty much.
That will get their
So
attention.
the
I guess,
Mongols
yeah.
had this alert system. There was a little fishing village. There's the pagoda over there. If the fishing village gets attacked, you shoot off these alarms. Well, we're gonna shoot them off ourselves, so the Mongols come
And
to
now
us.
for our
and they were
weekly, collaboration of Mongols on ice with explosive
yes,
barrels.
they were nice enough to leave explosive barrels all over the ice.
Idiots.
Very kind of them. Their organizational skills is a little bit laxing, but we appreciate it nonetheless. Their exterior design needs some work, but
Let's get to the
thankfully we use it to our advantage. But look at all those people that fall down and run away. That right there is the best example of showing of the fear effect. All those people that you could physically see crumpling over backwards because it was such a big open area. That's why we have the build we have. Beautiful. So are you sneaking in or are you going straight in the front door?
Front door.
Yay! So you can sneak around the back. They want you to sneak around the back because then you can slaughter the main commander and do the whole ghost stance thing. But no, thanks to fear, we just go right in the front door, kill everybody. We're faster this way. Much faster. Look at that. He hit him right on the head with the bomb. You can't orchestrate stuff better than that. I love it. Now, granted, he can't find his last guy, but he tried. He tried hard.
Yeah, the fucking archer in the back didn't run away.
Neither did the commander.
Hated.
So
They didn't
once
find
you
the
kill
commander,
everybody in here, you can you rescue the prisoners, and now the pagoda, the Jogaku
Jogaku Pagoda,
yeah, that's what it's called, is now your base of operations. This is where you do everything out of for the entirety of the third act, which actually has a lot of stuff that you can do casually, but 3 missions. It's got 3 missions. You recruit one guy, you do the uncle thing, and you do the 1.5 minute mission. That's it. Then it's game over. You go
That's
finish
pretty
everything
short,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it helps.
So we have been tasked to go find Yuna's friend, who is ex-love interest, maybe?
Yep.
They don't really get into it, but either way,
Yeah,
Jen
but
gets a little bit jelly.
it's heavily insinuated that they had things going on.
Yeah. And Yuna's over it. Jin's a little bit sad. He's like, hey, wait a minute. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? You knew somebody before me? How dare you? It's crazy. So you got to go find this wonderful guy. He is a hunter, quote unquote. And he's up in this little camp that overlooks a fort that you've got to use to get through all of your allies up to this section, because they can't go through Castle Chimera because they're kind of blocked off there.
I mean, we're outlaws by this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Although our Sensei Ishikawa and Lady Adachi hasn't done anything yet, but they still want to support you, so they can't just like travel through there and be like, we're gonna go travel north just for fun. So you do kind of have to smuggle them over here. So this, don't forget, you have done the air assassination, so you can do that now if you want. You can air assassinate and slaughter that general.
I mean,
Finish him quickly.
You can slaughter him every time. That's not the problem. It's just really the air assassination against a single enemy that triggers that. The slaughter is fine.
So yeah, this is another long ride. Not really a whole lot to talk about here, other than for some reason, video game logic. As you can tell, we're in the 3rd area, which is the furthest north part of the island, and so clearly, because it's north, it has to be snow. Has to be.
I mean, it's also pretty hard to navigate the first time you are here and doing the speedrun if you don't know the routes by heart yet, because there aren't a lot of clear visual indicators here telling you where to go, because it's all just white and white with the occasional red bush like here. So, welcome to Takashi's castle. Oh, it's his camp, but it sounds like a castle, isn't it?
I mean, man's castle is his home, right?
Exactly.
So it could be.
You're welcome at our campfire, my
So, yeah, as he was saying, this is not an easy place to navigate your first time. You can get lost, but we've done it enough. We know where we're going, and we've got specific things that we look for. So Takashi is going to basically talk about this fort. He's going to be like, hey, this is the fort. We need to get in there. And you're like, can you help us? And he says, well, why? Is it because it's really cold up here, and you need a place to stay, right? Oh, and by the way, Yuna's going to be there. Yuna's going to be there? Of course, I'm in. Let's do this.
Which is actually pretty funny, because when we meet Yuna at the end of this quest, Jin is all like, hey, I think Takashi's really looking forward to seeing you, and she's all like, yeah, he's seen me, we can go.
She's done with him.
Yep.
And as you're well aware, the fastest way to get down a mountain, jump. I used to ride my horse down that until Ash showed me the error of my ways. As long as you jump and you roll right as you hit the ground, you take no damage. So you just jump down those 3 really long drops and call your horse, and you're good.
Try it in real life. It works.
That's probably why he survived getting thrown off the roof or off the bridge. He rolled.
Yeah, but you just can't roll off the surface of the water now, can you? I mean,
he rolled.
Yeah, but you would have to hit the bottom of the ocean for that, and I don't know, man. That looks like a
thrown pretty hard.
Way down.
Long way down.
Crap. Also, just in case you're wondering why I'm wearing the Mongol commander's armor here, when I did the fast travel before I equipped this armor, I saw that there was a patrol like right in my way, and I have never found a way to circumvent that patrol when it was there, and they always shoot me down from my horse. So I just made it a habit of, if I see that patrol, I will just equip this armor until I am at the next fort here, and then I will switch back, because it's way less of a time loss to switch out the armor than, you know, getting thrown off your horse and having to run on foot.
On foot. Nobody wants to be on foot.
Yeah,
that's too slow.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when you get knocked off your horse, Ash is so great. He's not demonstrated this one yet. I kind of wish he would have. But if you get knocked off your horse will run from you while you're still in combat. So you either have to kill everybody or run far enough away that everyone de-aggroes before you can get back on your horse again. Because most oftentimes he'll just be like, "Nope, I'm out. See you later." So if you get knocked off your horse, it is a significant time loss if you've got to go by foot.
Else get to the ridge.
You're not the Flintstones. You're not traveling by feet. Let's move on with it.
Good luck.
So this is another big fight area. Kind of. It's supposed to be a big fight area. With booms, it kind of becomes less of a big fight area. So what he wants to do is wait until this convoy gets to a certain point, and then he booms them, and then he drops down and kills the commander, and everything is great. It's fantastic. Look at that destruction. So much destruction.
Why is that guy over there? What are you doing here, dude?
This is an RNG spot, of course, as he's yelling about. Different Mongols can spawn in different areas and just kind of hang out. As this one was behind a rock.
He was so far away. I've never seen that.
What sort of animals?
They also like to hide on the top ledges of this
Take
part
cover
right up here
from
where
the
he's
archers.
standing. Yeah.
I mean, it's smart
So
of them, but it's just aggravating for the speedrun.
They need to understand we're doing a speed run and they need to die quickly. The longer they stay alive, the more they inconvenience us. And that is not what we want here. So this part, again, wait until they get to a certain spot, blow them up. That's kind of the motto of this game. Once you get black powder bombs, wait until they get to a spot, blow them
Like
up.
we said in the beginning, channel your inner Michael Bay.
Indeed. Ash Bay.
We have to get over there. Let's get a look at the bridge.
I like that. I'll be surprised if you don't use it. I like it.
The Ash Bay.
I like it. Ash Bay.
Bay Ash.
So, we were talking to Takashi and he says, I figured it out, you're the ghost, but you're not 10 foot tall. And you're like, oh, shut up, it's fine. We got to do this. Yuna and your friends, basically, they don't wait for your signal like they were supposed to, so they start assaulting the other side of the fort. You have the choice of either, again, charging in here headlong or going around sneaky. It's definitely faster to go around or to charge straight in and make everyone go boom. And look at that. Another big group of enemies dead with some bombs. These guys here that he just passed don't matter. Once you get to the next trigger point, they basically despawn. You don't have to worry about fighting them. And if you reset at this trigger point. So there's no reason to fight those guys. Just a waste of time. Move on. Kill more people. And this is where Kenji actually shows up and fights, which is pretty cool. Kind of. He's here, anyways. And he's like, keep them away from me.
Yelling at people, probably just, having his pan in his hand and bonking people on the head or something. I don't know.
Listen, I've played PUBG. The pan is where it's at.
Maybe he throws sake bottles for the other guys to light up. I don't know. Like
Here, get drunk!
Like a sake cocktail that you light on fire.
There you go. Ooh, yes. It's not a Molotov cocktail. It's a Kenji cocktail.
Yeah.
Do you know where the name Molotov cocktail came from?
Actually, no. Do you want to enlighten us?
So Molotov cocktail, there was I can't remember specifically the battle or the war, as it were, but this general's name was Molotov, and he was dropping bombs on people. But he said they were actually care packages, and so they became Molotov's breads or Molotov's rations or something like that. And so then it became, instead of a dropping bomb, it became the bottle that explodes. And because it was liquid, they decided to name it Molotov's cocktail. So you got Molotov's bread and Molotov's cocktail.
Makes sense.
Pretty interesting. I learned things the other day. I thought it was interesting.
Why the hell were you researching that?
Holy cow, that horse jumped. I wasn't researching it. I just watch a lot of random things on YouTube.
Let's see.
So this is the other part where Yuna straight up tells you can't go straight in the front, and we're gonna say Tumbleweed
Yes, we
Samurai can go straight in the front.
Yes, we
Can't get in the
can.
front, but we could climb around the cliff.
Also, Yuna's kind of talking to you about, are you sure it was a good idea to have the poison because now the Mongols have it? And you're just like, no. You have the option of saying it was a necessary thing or you regret it. It doesn't really matter which way you go with it.
It actually never matters. Like, there's only one point in the prologue of the game
Your
that
scout
we
port
actually
isn't
skip
even
because
top
we're
of the
playing on New Game
lighthouse.
Plus, where
Right
it does
behind
matter what you say, just because the corresponding dialogue is shorter. But other than that, it never matters which conversation option you pick at any point.
Which is a little sad. It'd be nice
Time-wise.
if there was consequences for it.
And story-wise as well.
This is the shortest mission of the game.
Over here.
Now that you can straight roll your way right through.
Let's find
Go
out
right
if
to
attack.
the
Harbor Master's estate.
right to the lighthouse.
Khan may have taken
This is the only other one where you're surveying that you can skip
Makes sense.
one of the survey spots, which is the one right in the middle.
circling.
Scare them.
And then that's it. This mission's over. Really quick, painless,
Inland for shelter.
quite lovely.
Takes about 3 minutes, so yeah,
Mongols
it's
left
over
that
in the blink of an eye,
Too open.
basically.
Can't defend it.
But a good
By the
place
way,
to
I
make
like
an
their
ambush.
boat. That is a big boat. Huge boat. You're going to see that boat later.
Do you like
You're gonna
big
see that boat
boats?
later.
Imagine what we could do
I
if those
cannot
ships
lie
had
about
their
that
own
fact.
bridges.
Alright, we could like big boats, confirmed.
So, as you notice, basically he scouted the whole area. Fisherman's camp. That's where at the headmaster's house. That's where he's going to be at. There's a storm coming. There's a ambush point, and then there's a spot that we can set up watches. So there you go. We know this is where our final confrontation is going to be. So what do we got to do now? Well, we need to go get Lord Shimura involved. We can't just stroll right on in the back door. I can't say front door because we left out the back door. We can't just stroll right on in the back door and say, hey, uncle, we want to go play. You're an outlaw. So you discuss with Yuna
News.
that you need to basically recruit your uncle without being seen. So the next mission is to sneak back into Castle Shimura and leave a lovely note on his pillow saying, hey, we know where the Khan's at. We're going to attack when it's a storm coming, and you'd better be there, or else you're a coward and a loser and a snake, and I've never loved you. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked.
I don't think Jin wrote that. He's still way too kind to his uncle.
And not letting you leave.
He
without
is
a
way
good
too
horse.
kind.
I mean, maybe he wrote that, but he definitely crossed it out before sending the letter.
Yeah, he scratched it out. Did the samurai have whiteout? They might have had
I don't
whiteout.
think so. I think they probably just had to write the whole message again.
And this is where you get your new horse. If
horse.
you want the new horse.
All right.
New horse. This horse is still ugly. Nobody
What would
likes
you
this
name this
horse.
one?
I want my old horse back with the red mane, the sexy horse. This horse is just
Sexy horse.
How will you get
okay.
inside
Maybe you
there?
shouldn't call a horse sexy, but it's a nice
I
horse.
still remember every
Nice
day
horse.
I stood over
Yeah,
walls,
saying
even
some
as a boy.
questionable vibes here.
I didn't judge you. You don't judge me. We all live our own lives, okay?
Okay. Maybe a little bit of slight judging going on. Maybe. Maybe a little bit.
So you have to wait for this
Sexy
conversation to end, which is why he just sat there and did circles. You can't fast travel until that's over. But once that's over, we fast travel to a spot that for some reason is always tagged. We never tagged it.
Yep.
Don't know why it's there.
It's just there. I mean, it's convenience. It's good for us. You can just fast travel there.
Right.
And you're immediately in front of the castle, which you have to sneak in again. Now, if you remember, we attacked the castle. We snuck out of the castle. Now we're sneaking back into the castle. So there's a lot going on with Castle Shimura.
I just lost you on comms, buddy.
You did? Why? Am I back? Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello? Hello, hello?
Ash, can you hear me?
I can hear
You
you.
might have lost Ash on comms. I see myself lighting up, but I don't see him lighting up. So if you guys can hear me, but not him, I'll explain what's going on. So we have to sneak into the castle. We have the determination that if we fight anybody, then we are the monster that they say we are. So
What is that?
there, you're back.
Yeah, okay, but why did... He didn't jump. He just ran straight into the castle.
Good, that was a nice time to come back.
Yeah. All it took was a death.
So by the way, that little thing that I was about to get to before he died, Ash did a quick little dance of wrath to get across the water quicker. If you are just on the edge of water, but you're not into it where you're swimming, and you do dance of wrath, you'll basically skip across the water and get significant distance, and that saves a couple seconds if you do it right the first time.
Yeah. It's not a major time save, but, you know, it looks kind of cool. Shows off some tech. So why the hell not do it?
So he's sneaking in here, couple rolls past the bad guys, and he's going to jump back into the water. Again, you're going underneath the bridge like you went under before. Kind of weird. Again, reusing the same assets. That's how you save money. I die a lot on this part, so I've slowed this part down a whole lot to make sure that I don't die here. Because for some reason, I can't figure out how to jump to these ledges properly. I don't know why.
It's a combination between camera movement and actual movement.
And then just raw skill, or lack thereof. So once again, we go the exact same route we came in. We go to the exact same tower that we started in, but instead of actually climbing up the inside of the tower and killing everybody to get through it, we're going to take a little bit of an alternate route because we don't want to go in there. If you do go in there, you have to wait until the sentry inside turns around and he's not looking, and then you go out the door, and it just takes too long. So over the top we go, and
Using a rock.
sneak on past these guys with the beauty of Tumbleweed Samurai. Go right into the side entrance here, and again, one man can fully infiltrate a castle. So the Khan is kind of fallen short on his invasion plan because he doesn't know all the secrets. After you get inside the castle, even though you're not supposed to be seen, it's supposed to end you if you get seen, but for some reason they never programmed that part, so you can just run straight through it. As long as you're inside the castle.
Lord Shimura is inside the castle, because at the moment where we are inside the castle, he's still at the outside, you know, talking to his troops, delivering his
That's
speech.
true, yes.
But once he enters the castle, these samurai will actually call for help and give you a game over if they see you. However, as long as Lord Shimura is still outside, no consequence to getting seen. So, you know, just do it.
Yeah, he gives a great speech about how, you know, they're gonna win the war and everyone is great. And then when he walks in, the first thing he's like, "Damn you, Jin! You were supposed to be here with me with this." Like he knew you were there and he wanted you to hear it. That's my belief.
You can sense the ghost.
So this is it. We've recruited everybody.
Yep.
We've prepped everything.
Yep.
We are on the final mission against the Khan.
Yep.
And this has my favorite tree in the entire mission. My favorite tree in the entire mission. When we get to it, I'm going to point it out. I point it out every run. It's so fantastic.
Favorite tree.
Favorite
tree.
Yeah.
I remember.
So right before this mission, Yuna has to walk all the way from the bottom of the fishing area, all the way up to the pagoda, around the pagoda, and back down to where the swordsmith is at. And it takes her forever. However, normally if you open up menus or if you talk to people, it stops an NPC's action. That doesn't happen with Yuna at this time. So this is the perfect opportunity to buy all the gear that you need. There's even a gift altar up at the top that you can raid and then sell everything and buy everything. You've got so much time. So much time. Because you just got to wait for Yuna to get there.
So yeah, basically we get another short break here. You know, where you can stretch, grab a drink, or whatever you need to do before the big battle in Port Izumi.
It's very important because this is the big battle. This is the one. This is you versus Khan. Jin versus Kublai. No. Who does he say? Kutun. Yeah, Kutun. Kutun Khan. Cousin of Kublai. Grandson of Genghis. So the actual Mongol invasion was led by Kublai Khan, not Kutan Khan. Kutan Khan, I don't think is a person.
Yeah, I think
I'm not mistaken. I don't believe Kutan Khan is real.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he isn't real, yeah. Come on, Yuna.
Go! Look at her go! This is another opportunity where you're supposed to talk to your allies, get some insightful things, the nonsensical stuff that, yeah, if you were casually playing, would be awesome to know about. Again, this story is great. If you haven't played it casually, play it. Great. It is amazing. It is wonderful. It will knock your socks all the way off. It doesn't even matter if you're wearing long socks with the clips on them that clip to your belt for some reason. It will knock those off. It will find a way. It will unsnap them and knock them off.
Who clips socks to the belt?
Have you never seen? Maybe they're clipped to like a little strap around their thigh. I don't know. It's just bear with me here, okay? Socks that are hard to get off will still be knocked off, okay? Jesus.
Gotcha.
You got to analyze everything I say. I'm not commentating for you anymore. It's been 3 hours, and now you're going to make me cry.
No.
All right. Big battle.
Yeah, focus, friend. No deaths here.
Nah, I got bombs. I don't have to focus. Look, what the hell?
Oh yeah, sorry. You got bombs. You don't need friends. You don't need focus.
See? They even get blown up by themselves. I don't even have to do anything. Other people have started to learn the way of the bomb.
So like, all right, let's just blow each other up. We don't need to waste time. This is about the only time they understand that you are in a speed run and they want to play nicely with you. So this part here, the enemies can actually trigger in 2 different locations to spawn. And so if you're not standing in the right spot, they will actually spawn behind where he is standing now, as opposed to on that ramp coming down. And it becomes a bit of a nuisance because you don't have the barrel there to explode. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward fight. There's a couple of red barrels here and there. Blow everybody up. Same thing. This game became really trivial when we learned how effective terror and explosions were. It really did. And this is something that you can't necessarily do on New Game because the ghost armor you get standard, but all the extra charms you don't. You have to do side missions and shrines and things like that to get. So whereas you could ghost armor this part to make it a little bit better, the likelihood of enemies running is so much more minuscule that we have totally different fighting techniques for New Game.
Also on New Game you have a lot less of all your tools. Like you don't have any explosive arrows, you don't have the fire arrows, you have very little of the bombs. So most of the strategies that we actually use here are just not, you can't just use them.
You have hardly any resolve or health. And now coming up right here, look over to your right, it's the shaking dancing tree. It is my favorite tree in the entire game. If they ever fix that loading error, I will be so sad. It's my favorite tree. I love it.
I just killed that guy with an assassination because I needed a bit of resolve because I got poisoned twice that I had to heal. So I'm actually a little bit low on resolve, but should be fine.
That tree only shakes on Ash's screen. It doesn't shake on mine. Not because I'm better or anything like that, but just because I use a different route, so it loads differently on mine. So I never get to see it when I do a run, but I do get to see it when Ash runs, so it's my favorite thing. So Ash just changed over to different armor. It's not Ghost armor, and it's not the Sakai armor. He actually switched over to Ghost Soku's armor, which is
big bad.
It's an armor that you get for a. That's the one that you get from the fishing villages, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have to
very long quest line.
Yeah, you have to liberate like, goodness gracious, 6 different farms and then go find it. And the reason he switches over to this one and he sets his charms up as well is because this one has a huge stagger bonus. And Kuten he's a brute. He doesn't stagger easily. He doesn't care. So if you use the proper stance and you have this armor, he becomes a lot easier. Not easy, but easier. Because he can get staggered a lot easier. So this is the only time that we use this armor is during Kuten's fight. And one thing we didn't talk about was the charms loadout. We've talked about, yeah, we have charms that do this, we have charms that do that. It is actually a special setting that you have to go to and set up in the game before you start the game, or I guess you can really do it during the game. But it's called Enable Armor Loadout. And enabling armor loadout allows you to basically set specific charms to specific armor slots. So if you change your armor, the charms don't change with it. Whereas in a casual playthrough, if you never set that up, and this could be good for you there, Mod, who is doing this casual, you may want to keep your exploration charms and things like that. But in our playthrough, we want specific effects on specific armor. So we enable that armor loadout so we know that when we switch gear, it's going to have a very specific set of charms, so we don't have to go in and manually adjust that every time. So the attack here is very basic. He's taking care of the bad guys on with explosives and things like that on the sides just to kind of relieve his pressure. He wants to attack with, he's got the ghost dance. If he's got it, use it, great. Other than that, he is using kunais to stagger, and then he's attacking, and then he's using a kunai to stagger, and he's attacking. And basically, he's kind of stun locking Kuten. Not super stun lock. I mean, you can still get busted out of it, but if you do it right and fast enough, he'll completely stun lock him.
Yeah, that fight was pretty much as good as it could have been.
That was. So, Kuten's dead. He ran him through, stuck him to the
Mast.
yeah, to the mast. So what's left?
What happens then?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. This is the end of the game, so
I'm not even sure who I am.
moderators, if you guys want to start getting the next person ready, we've got about 10 minutes left of the game. Yeah.
6.
There's only one thing left, and I'm going to give a big spoiler here just because I want to, and I want to start seeing people in chat making the decision for us. If you're listening to what Yuna's saying, Yuna is saying that your uncle wants to talk to you. Well, since we've still got 5 minutes and we've got to talk to our uncle, clearly it's not over yet. And we already had a falling out, so we know what's coming. Who's the true final boss? We get to go and have a standoff against Uncle, which is great because you actually, it comes full circle. Because during the prologue, Uncle teaches you how to fight. So it ends with you sparring against Uncle. So it's really quite fitting. I like it. I like how it comes around.
Yep.
So you have the option. You have the option of either saving Uncle, sparing his life, or killing him. If you want to put it in chat, what you would like to see, I'm going to just go ahead and say that Ash has to do it. Whatever the highest one is, I'll keep track of it. Ash has to do it. I didn't tell him I was doing this ahead of time, so he's by no means bound to this other than, you know, streamers.
That's okay. That's okay.
Streamers promise. I'm making him do it. But yes, you have until the end of the fight, so about 4 minutes to decide. It's not going to change much, but if the moderators say we have time, maybe we can watch the final video. The final video does change based on the choice you make, and it's super awesome.
So we will still be underestimate.
All right, so we got 1 for kill. So there's that. Good enough for me.
One vote.
So one of the secret, one of the secret things that they don't really tell you about this, they change you into the Ronin armor, but you actually keep your loadout for the previous gear that you had. So we are set up with the best gear for this fight based on the Kuten fight before we fought it.
It's actually a thing that happens on other points during the run as well. Like when you get the Sakai armor during Ghosts from the Past, whatever charm loadout you had equipped before you put on the armor for story reasons will be, kept over to the Sakai armor. So this can actually change around, and that is actually while we are wearing the Sakai armor during the whole Ghosts from the Past quest, because for one, we already have it equipped when we start the quest because we just came out of the General Temugi duel. But then, you know, it basically overrides itself with itself. So, you know, we just keep the same charm loaded. Which is pretty nice. Also, mesh buttons, goddammit.
We helped this merchant out, and he's like, I got a load of goods going to Jogaku Pagoda for the ghost.
I don't have an arm.
And Lord Shimura, even though knowing that's a bad thing, he's like, well, on your way then. Best of luck to you. And now you got to talk to Shimura. You're like, I don't have an army. I don't know what's going on. And he's like, shut up. Just follow me. He's a little bit nicer about it. He's just like, not here. Come.
They'll listen to
And so during this walk, basically, he's talking to you about how you have dishonored him, you've disgraced him. The Shogun wants a head. I mean, you got to answer for what you've done. And Jin is not really defending what he's done as an I'm sorry sort of thing. He's more of a
I mean, he likes his
this
head.
needed to be
He wants to keep his
yeah,
head,
but
so,
but he's like, this needed to happen.
yeah.
Like, this needs to happen. We needed to survive, and this is how we survived. And he says, but when the other samurai come here, will the people bow to their leaders? Because you showed them that you can defy the leaders. And he's like, I won't let them. And they said, yeah, they're not going to listen to you. So, yeah,
Yep.
you've lost.
It's a bit of a catch-22 here.
Yeah, you've shown them that you can defy your leaders, so why would they listen to you? So, I mean, I understand where they're coming from. The honor thing is very, very important in samurai culture, so I get the idea. But it's still kind of one of those things.
They are bound and chained to it. But yeah, we got one more haiku done, and then it is time for our last duel. And since I only have 6 resolve, I can use Dance of Wrath twice, which means I will have to do the first and second phase of the fight normally. So we actually get to see a little bit more of the sword fighting combat in this.
And so far, we've got 1 vote for kill. My vote's for kill as well. And that's actually, in my opinion, the merciful thing to do. Because if you don't kill him, he's just going to go back to the Shogun and say that he failed, and the Shogun's just going to make him commit seppuku anyways. So kill him.
Here we go. Well, unless he kills me.
I don't want to hurt
I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
See?
So let me know when you're done. I'll give you the final count.
He immediately
Let me
did.
go in peace.
And with ease too. He's like, "Oh, hey, look at you rearing back. I'm gonna kill you now." I wanted to watch it. I thought it was quite good.
Killing me will only make them worse.
Let me go in peace.
So I'm gonna make the request again from the moderators because I can actually see they're in chat now. Just if you are okay with us showing off the end video, because I know we had the technical issues for a moment. I don't quite know where we are in
Only a minute.
as far as like the marathon goes, but it's a quick one. All right, we got to go ahead. So
Okay.
let me know when you're on the final one. I'll tell you
am.
what the choice is.
And time is coming up in just a second. And time.
And it's kill. Yep. So that's all we had. Sweet. Enjoy this. Enjoy this. This is great.
I will make sure you are remembered as a great warrior, a wise leader, and a father.
Thank you, son. Find me in the next life.
I will.
So much feels.
And that's it, folks. That's Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, if you choose to let him live, the last thing he says to you, he's like, "Give me an honorable death." And so if you choose to let him live, Jin says,
I have no
I have no honor. And he replies with, "The ghost will be hunted for all of his days." And he's like, "That's just what it is." And he puts on the ghost mask and he walks away. So I'm going to do my outro before Ash does his because, I want to thank Ash very much for inviting me in here to be his commentary when his other comms couldn't make it. I had a great time. A big thank you and shout out to the organizers for this really awesome event. I really enjoyed it. If you guys haven't followed Ashma during this run, I don't know why. Maybe you were too caught up in the wonderful talk. Go check him out. Ashma _. It's there on the screen. You should be able to see it. Great runner. He's doing all sorts of wonderful things. He's put a lot of time into this, and he deserves some love. So go there.
Thank you. Well,
By the way, just real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but the next run is supposed to start at like 20 minutes. So if you still have something that you might want to show off or something cool,
something off really quick. I mean, I could basically do the full 20 minutes by doing a side quest, which gives us a little bit more of the duels if you want.
Do you have? I would say. No, I was gonna say we could do a new game, load a new game, and show the opening video.
Could also do that.
I know it's only 20 minutes, but it would show kind of like the opening video and what started everything.
It's pretty much 20 minutes from exactly now on.
I mean, if you need 20 minutes, I can fill 20 minutes by doing a few duels if you want.
I mean, preferably a little bit less than that.
Okay. Then
something along the lines of like 10 minutes or so.
10 minutes. What can we
or
do
I mean,
minutes?
5 minutes is also fine. We can, like, whatever is in between, we'll just be sitting in intermission and listening to some banger music.
Let me think. Is there anything fun that we can show off in 5 minutes? There are a few things.
Trying to think myself here. You can go, I don't know, say hi to the man without a voice and show him off. He's pretty cool. No.
I think we can just do a few duels. You know, you can basically just cut it off whenever, I guess. Because this is the quest, actually, that we touched upon earlier when Wicked said that we actually did a race. And what it is, it's a series of 6 duels. Not necessarily back-to-back, because they are scattered all over the second part of the island. But, you know, just to show you guys a little bit more of the actual combat. Because we saw a little bit of the sword-fighting duel combat against the fight at Shimura just now. But for all of the rest of the duels, you basically just use Dance of Wrath over and over to get through those quickly. But, you know, there's actually a lot of intricacies to the duel fighting itself. And since I don't have any resolve at the moment anyway, I have to fight them the quote-unquote normal way. So this is basically how probably most of the duels that you would do during a normal run would look like. And as you can already tell, this is a little bit different than what we saw. And it actually also shows you off how quickly a duel or any fight in this game on lethal difficulty can just go wrong. Because, you know, you may survive a hit here and there, but most of the time, not so great.
The story behind these duels, it's not just random people wanting to fight you. There was a Straw Hat Ronin that before the Mongol invasion his name was Tidori, and he basically went rogue and kind of just went mad and started killing everybody, and pretty much indiscriminately. So he was kicked out of the Straw Hat Ronin. When the Mongols invaded, they kind of asked him back, and then when the Straw Hats switched sides, they wanted to show their loyalty to him, and he's like, fine, kill Jin. So he tasked it's 5 people, right? And then he's number 6.
Yes.
He tasked 5 people with dueling you, and if you defeat all 5 of them, then you get the honor to duel him. And so there's a whole cool story behind this that it makes perfect sense when you watch it because, or when you play it casually, because it's like, this is why you're doing it. They have to prove their loyalty to him. And if they don't, then he gets to fight you and he gets to finish you off. Because you are the greatest threat.
We also get to show off a little bit more of this actually wonderful island. I mean, just look at the environments here. Like, you can just lose yourself in it in photo mode and just take picture after picture after picture. And I sure know that I did when I played it casually the first time.
Would you say that you lose yourself in the music in the moment?
That too.
Okay, just making sure.
But, you know, photo mode, it's a thing.
I'm sorry. I make a lot of 90s references. I'm old.
Aren't we all? I think this is actually a pretty funny anecdote about the Ghost of Tsushima speedrunning community as well. Like, it's mostly a couple of older guys, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so we make silly references like the one earlier with Keep Rolling. Like, most kids these days probably don't know the song, Keep Rolling. But, I mean, I find it funny. And the first time I said it during a stream that Ash was in there, he's like, you think that sometimes too? I'm like, yep. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Bonding over age.
That's right.
I mean, it's, you know, it's a grown-up story. In this game.
It is. Such a good story.
This is not Pokemon. Or whatever kids nowadays are playing. I don't know. I'm old. I don't know.
You can go, boy.
I don't know. Pokemon is old too. You got to come up with something newer than that.
Yeah, but you
this
know.
isn't Call of Duty.
I mean,
jeez.
But the story of Pokemon hasn't changed in like what, 20 years or so. I don't know.
Catch my Pokemon.
Dirty little secret. I've never played a Pokemon game in my life.
He
Calling
made
it
you
now.
soft. Then why are you at?
Oh.
I've never played. Okay, so you wanna know what can get my nerd card revoked?
Oh god. Now
I've never seen Star Wars, ever. Not a single one. I've never seen Star Trek, so I'm not a Trekkie. I'm not a Star Warsy. I can see the appeal to them, but I don't have any desire to watch it myself.
Dude, how are you still alive? How hasn't any fandom, like, you know, just straight up murdered you yet?
I don't know, but I'm calling it out live. I don't care. People can come at me, bro. I don't watch Star Wars. That's just, I just have no desire to. Like, I understand the movies because I understand them, but I've never watched a full movie. And I've watched a lot of, Family Guy Star Wars shows, so I think I know what's happening.
Uh-huh. Well,
all I know is that Princess Leia and Luke are related, and they kiss, and it's just wrong.
Farewell, Ronin.
Wrong.
I guess we just let it stand at that.
It's all I know, man. All I know. And Luke is somebody's father, or somebody's Luke's father. And lots of hands get cut off.
Well,
I know that part.
I can't just hear the internet screaming right now, you know, like everything you're saying is basically just nails on chalkboards, you know.
Luke is my father.
That is basically what's happening to the internet right now.
Listen, I do what I do. I do what I do. Okay, don't judge me. Don't judge me. You don't know. You don't know the life I've lived, okay?
Uh-huh. Well, you've lived a Star Wars and Star Trek-less life, I guess.
So it's been a good life.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, not trying to get into too much of a discussion about the recent Star Wars movies and their quality.
So, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
We should talk about that game. Yeah.
Maybe when are we getting a movie about that one, huh? Like.
There you go. We need a Ghost of Tsushima movie. Yeah. It would be a really good movie. It'd be a good movie. I would watch that movie.
I think, you know, the speedrun took 3.5 hours, but I think we can condense that even more, make it into a pretty good movie. Maybe with a little bit more story, but, you know.
Yeah, let's get the story in there. That's what we need. More story. More story. Less bombs, more story. Ghost of Tsushima, directed by Michael Bay. I mean,
that is basically the speedrun. You know, the speedrun is directed by Michael Bay.
is.
That is why it is so fast.
Oh, we didn't even touch on the part where it's one of your favorite memes from Marvel, which I don't watch those either. So there you go.
Oh God, dude!
Throughout the whole new game plus,
I forgot one.
we don't see Kutan until the very end, and so Ash has a meme that is somebody from Star Wars. No, sorry, somebody from Marvel that goes to Thanos and is like, "You took everything away from me." He's like, "I don't even know who you are." That's Thanos is Kutan. Kutan is Thanos. Yeah. He's like, I don't even know who you are. I've never seen you before in my life.
You absolutely not knowing those movies and trying to explain this meme is probably the best thing that I have heard this whole time.
I know the meme. That's all that matters. I don't need to know the reference, just the meme. I give my ladies' kids shite about that all the time when they spout off some reference to a meme that is a reference to something from like our days of being a kid. I was like, you don't even understand where that comes from. You don't even know.
I'm not here for the run. I'm only here for the memes.
That's right. Here for the memes. Did you call it Mimi? Yes. Yes, I did. Shut up.
You out of here.
Isn't it pronounced meme? No. No, it is not.
Meme.
You don't talk anymore. Meme. It could be.
Yeah, like
meme.
Talking card revoked. You are not allowed to talk anymore.
You have no voice. Silence yourself.
Yep.
It is an honor to meet you, my lord.
Shut up and die.
For battle.
Well, that's rude.
You are.
It's rude.
But it's true.
I'm assuming you were talking to the guy in the game. You wouldn't have been talking to me. That's just...
No, I was talking to the guy in the game.
Okay, just making sure. Because I couldn't see that part. So that just came back at me. That was aggressive.
No. I was talking to the Roman that I am about to kill off. And, well, maybe he will kill me off. Because I am totally off my game right now. I just want to use Dance of Wrath and get it over with.
It's because we're talking about Star Trek Wars.
Yeah, and Marvel Avengers or something.
Yeah, DC Avengers and
oh god,
and Batman in the Marvel universe.
I'm just cringing so hard right now.
This is foolish. Surrender, and you can live.
And I think it's
dude, what?
Who is it? It's I don't know. I don't know.
Whose name do you want to drag to the dirt now?
Iron Man says I am Groot, right? That's the name?
This is foolish.
I am Groot.
Surrender, and you can live.
What's that meme where it's Sauron looking at an orc, and he's like, you have to take Harry to Narnia, or some crap like that, and then the orc goes back. It's like, I am Groot. I know Lord of the Rings. I can nerd out on Lord of the Rings, bro. I know that shit. Wicked knows.
I've never heard that one.
You haven't? Oh, it's one. It's like how to piss off 7 different fandoms at once, and it's Sauron talking to an orc, and he's like, take Harry to Narnia.
Is the orb a Dragon Ball?
That'd be great. No, could be a Pokemon ball.
Oh god. Yeah, I mean sounds like a pretty effective way to piss off several fandoms, like in one picture or a series of pictures.
Did we get too sidetracked for you, or are you coming in to cut us off? Like, all right, they're talking about some really random crap here. We need to just stop this. We're gonna get Twitch tossed because they're talking about Star Wars and things that are making the internet mad. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible person.
I just want to say I think it's a good moment now. It's definitely not because of the conversation, because I'm laughing too hard because of that. Those were some good memes.
Sure.
All the memes.
So you guys are set up?
I'm here until Sunday.
I mean, we're not set up, but we can go into the intermission.
All right.
You can still do your shout-outs and...
Yeah, alright. So, thank you so much, Wicked, for commentating through the whole run. Like, it was absolutely awesome to have you on comms once again. And, of course, thank you so much for the organizers for having us in the first place. It was a lot of fun. We just have to take a look at that run, I guess, because we finished at 3 hours, 20 minutes, 42 seconds, if the timer is correct. Which is technically a world record by about 2 minutes, so... well.
Oh, run's invalid to tech issues. You moved.
Let's see.
I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to approve that on the board.
It gives
So I'm
me the
just letting you know
confidence
right
that I
now.
can beat that world record when things go right. You know. We can do it. We can do it. Anyway, guys.
We can do it.
Thank you so much for having us. It was fun, and we will hope we will be back sometime. So, I guess. Good luck to the other runners still coming up, and we'll see each other soon.
Yeah, what's next? What is next? Setup. What's after setup, organizer? He doesn't. He's not telling me. He's like, just shut up and get off camera.
Next up is
even on
DreamWorks Dragon's Dawn of New Riders by Lowe's.
Ooh.
Ooh, don't think I've ever seen that game.
I have
So
not
stick
either.
around, people.
I am intrigued.
I'm interested now.
Pretty cool.
And the sun is up. I can finally take my breakfast.
Good night, good morning, good whatever it is, wherever you are, and when you're watching this. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Had a great time.
Definitely did.